suspect who left behind fingerprints, which have been sent to the lab in hopes of a match. Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
Some 2,200 workers at the National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration have been fired or taken buyouts since January.
Some 16 top FEMA executives are gone amid staff cuts and reductions in hurricane preparations for a season where 3 to 5 major hurricanes are forecast. But Mike Brennan at the National Hurricane Center says it's fully operational.
Our products and services and warnings are going to go out as they always do.
FEMA Administrator David Richardson said he was unaware the U.S. had a hurricane season, but a spokesman says he was joking. Allison Keyes, CBS News, Washington.
The KMOX Business Desk, the Labor Department is shutting down Job Corps centers across the country in a cost-cutting move.
Job Corps centers provide job training and even housing for thousands of low-income young adults. Jalea Cohen is a student at the Miami Job Corps.
People came here to find their purpose, and now that's kind of being stripped away from them.
The Labor Department says the centers are running a deficit of $213 million. They all have to close by the end of the month. Renee Wolf is scrambling to find housing for the 200 students at the Job Corps site she heads in Edinburgh, Indiana.
Their hopes and dreams have been pulled out from underneath them.
Michael Wallace, CBS News.
The Dow from Stifel's up 180 points to 42,486.
Partly sunny skies, breezy, just a chance of a spot shower in the 80s to near 90, 91. We may barely touch that, but think mainly in the 80s. Also, the upper atmosphere getting less and less smoke with a front trying to move in. Tonight, lots of clouds, breezy, couple of showers, a few rumbles, 72. Wednesday, periods of showers, couple of spot thunderstorms, breezy, and 80. Keep that going Wednesday night, Thursday, and into Friday. This is not a widespread severe weather outbreak for us, but there will be a couple of thunderstorms around. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Winds are out of the south at 17, gusting up to 29 miles per hour. It's 83 downtown. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Weather sponsored by Renner Garage Door, forward and back, RENNER.
Cardinal Cowboy here. For over 65 years, Renner Garage Door has delivered top-notch service, sales, and installation. Get your free estimate today. RennerDoorSTL.com. Renner, forward and back.
RENNER. RENNER.
The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
Good afternoon, St. Louis, DGS 104.1 FM KMOX. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday.
Every day as I'm saying good afternoon, St. Louis, I'm thinking a little bit like I'm going to walk out. Takes me back to my very first show when the light went on, and I thought, no one here is big enough or fast enough to catch me. I'm just going to leave.
Yeah.
They can't make me do this. And then I went ahead and did it. Just like I'm going to go ahead and do it now.
And it's like, look at that, all that 20 years later. And
25 years.
All the fun and the...
6,000 times I've gone, I could just walk out of here.
You've made what, 6 billion so far?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, 6, 7.
Yeah, who's counting at that point, right?
I will say people are probably like, oh, he is the easiest. All you got to do is talk. All you got to do is be funny.
That's it.
It's rough sometimes, man. And there was a time, it was maybe like 2021 or 2022. I had to fill in for you for a whole week, Dave, and I had those same feeling. Like, it was like Wednesday, and I'm like, I could just leave. They can't make me do it. Like, it's an intimidating thing
They
to
can't
start
put me
a
in
4-hour
jail.
show.
I always feel bad complaining at all because I'm completely blessed and fortunate to have a fun job that pays me well. We do well at it. But 4 hours a day, you know,
it's a lot. It's a lot of show.
And as we're about to talk about, people only judge you on what they hear. Like, I had a little tiff with Paul the other day, who's always online, because he was saying things like, all you do is talk about this. Every minute it's anti-Trump. And like, well, that's just not true. It might be 8 minutes out of 4 hours. And so if what you hear isn't good, nothing was good.
Yeah.
And if I do something brilliant, while you're at work, you'll never know.
Yeah.
Because I can never do it again.
That's why we love the podcasters, though.
Yes. Better believe it.
Because they're getting the full context of the show.
Stacy says, dropping in to say hello as you start the Tuesday stream. I've been listening for about a decade. You guys feel like friends. Keep up the good work and keep us laughing. You're the best. Amy,
Stacey.
I started listening when you moved to KMOX. How long has Rachel and Andrew been with you? Rachel, 8 years?
I think it'll be 9 years next month.
Yeah,
Okay.
9 years in July.
And you, 15?
15 in August.
There you go. Long time.
I'm the baby.
You're the baby.
Kevin's the
Just took him
BB.
home from the hospital a couple years ago.
Kevin's the BB.
As the stray that you guys are like,
Yeah, you're the one we didn't mean to have.
He's definitely in his terrible twos.
I'm the oops. Oh, no. What did we do?
Yeah. You're the Dave.
We sure about this?
Seriously, I only exist because my mom couldn't take birth control and was allergic to Christmas trees. And I think that's like I was conceived right around Christmas. I think she couldn't take the Christmas tree and didn't have birth control, and here I am.
Oh, hey, listen.
60 years later.
We all get here somewhere somehow.
Right.
We're not all planned.
No. That's a good question. I wonder how many people are.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure it's I wouldn't guess at the percentage, but a lot of it is not. I mean, let's be honest. None of us are here at all with if it's all planned, because 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago, nobody was just planning. Well,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
we are what happened.
Yes.
All of us.
Yes.
How many of us are there now? 7, 8 billion?
Yeah.
Almost as much money as you've made?
Although they think they undercounted.
Yeah?
Like me with my
that's
money.
right. Yeah, right. You just never know.
Yeah, they think there could be as many as 9.
So 9 billion, like we are all the product at some point of, well, that happened.
And I just had something in my show prep that if you're over 50, the population has doubled in your lifetime.
Jeez. That's
Crazy.
Well, I mean, that shows you the impacts of like transportation technology, fertilization for food. So there's fewer crops that are dying. Like because what grows, why people are bigger too, why humans are larger than they used to be, is the abundance of resources. You have better nutrition. You have more things available to you. You don't have as much scarcity. So you see why now the average human is bigger now than they were 100 years ago, 200 years ago, 300, whatever.
Yeah.
So same idea with the population size. You can support more people.
So we have controversy on the DGS.
Uh-oh.
We don't have it very often, but we have it today. And yesterday we had our friends from Pride Fest on to talk about Four Hands, did an event last night, and Pride Fest is literally across the street from us, coming up in later June. And McDonald's is a partner and sponsor to Pride Fest, and they sent Grimace down. Now, it could have been Grimace, or it could have been the Hamburglar. Thank God it wasn't the burglar, because he's a little new guy. But I took a picture with Grimace, my mistake, and we posted it so people
God
could
forbid.
see Dave with beloved Grimace. And we had about 10 people go off last night saying that being gay is the same as being a sexual predator, that we were grooming children so that they could become sexual perverts as well, and using Sesame Street characters so that, and of course it's a McDonald's Land character, but I just wanted to say, and I'm going to say this as nicely as I can. If you conflate being gay with being a sexual predator, we have nothing to talk about. If you think that we would ever groom children in any way, we have nothing to talk about. So we are, I will speak for myself. I have always been very supportive of the gay community. I don't know a great deal about it. I have lots of friends who are, LGBTQ. I think we're all on the spectrum somewhere. I'm sure someone's way out there on the straight. I'm sure that's you listening. But I think we're all on the spectrum, and I think we're all just people just trying to get by. And I'm supportive of my LGBTQ plus friends, and I'm supportive of McDonald's. Let me say that.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so you put those two
Most
things
supportive
together,
of
you got
McDonald's.
a winner. But I just think that it's really kind of crazy that people would say you're grooming children on KMOX to become sexual predators.
It is a very, very hard time in this country to be gay or trans anywhere on that spectrum through no fault of their own. it has become a very difficult and very, very hostile time to just be yourself in this country. And I think that is very, very unfortunate, to say the least. Yeah. And so I think it's important to all four of us that those in that community know that you have friends here.
Yes. Yes.
And I'm very proud of that.
Yeah, 100%. And I'll tell you, there's two parts to it. There's that part, which is supporting your fellow human, which sounds like a certain person that a lot of these types of people like to quote, right? Do unto others as you would have them as you would have them do unto you. What you do to the least of my people, that's what you do to me. Sounds vaguely like somebody they would quote. And it doesn't sound like they're living that, number one. But number two, on a logical perspective, just pure logic, we know of thousands of cases of children that were assaulted, molested by people of religious backgrounds. Youth pastors, youth ministers, priests, whatever. We know of thousands of those cases. Does that mean that religious people are therefore grooming kids? Of course not. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. And to argue that any other group fits that description when there is no evidence of that makes you an idiot. And I think intentionally deceptive idiot, because you want to push your agenda over what the reality of the world is. And sorry, but that doesn't play. If you're not going to follow the words of the person you claim to follow, you're not going to walk in those footsteps like you claim to, and then you're going to distort reality to make yourself feel better and make yourself feel superior, you could jump off a bridge. Sorry, got no time for you. And if any of those people want to get together face to face and have a little debate, I'm here. Anytime, anywhere you want, you name it.
You gonna fight them?
I don't want to fight anybody. Verbally fight you.
I don't want to fight the Hamburglar.
Kevin says, come catch these words.
Look, it's because it's not that complicated. Show me in the New Testament where these words are that say that this is an abomination. Show me where Jesus said those things. And then you can beat me in the debate. And if you're going to show me the Old Testament, I'm going to ask you a simple question. All right, you like that there. Why aren't you following all of the things that are in the Old Testament? Why are you skipping out on the we're gonna stone adulterers to death? Why are you skipping on some of those things but picking out others that you're going to focus on? Can't be selective in that. Sorry. And if you are, it's being done for a purpose. And what it really is about power and control and people feeling superior to other people.
I just want to say happy Pride, everyone, even to the haters and losers. You know, I just want us all to have a great month, okay?
Oh, my God. Rach, that's so well played. Even to the haters and losers. And they're all keyboard warriors and cowards, too.
Well, that's the thing, is it's just like, man, I was getting, you know, it's sad. It's like Andrew said, it's a difficult time to be in that community in this country. And I guess it really hit home yesterday because we were all being called groomers for posing with Grimace. And it's like, whoa, this is nuts. Like, we're getting flack for this. Like, imagine what it's like to be a part of the LGBTQ plus community. Like, the comments you must get all the time when you're just living your life. Very sad. Very disappointing to see that from some people on the Facebook page, but I want to give a big shout out to everyone who was in the comments being normal. So thank you guys. Love you guys.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you can always have conversations.
Yeah.
I'm willing to have a conversation.
Yeah.
With someone who says Jesus is real and God is real and the Bible is real and gay people are not going to heaven because they're outside of God's grace. We can have a conversation.
Yeah.
We can have a debate like Kevin talked about.
Yeah.
But standing behind the bushes and taking pot shots at Grimace.
But also, like the way they're doing it. And Brian jumps in, why are we only calling out Christians? We're not. I'll say that to any religious background at all. But I mean, the people that were commenting to us were doing so as Christians. And if others are saying it, they're wrong. If Muslims are saying it, they're wrong too. If you think your religion says that someone being who they are is wrong, your religion is wrong about that subject. Period. The end. I'll say that to anybody. I don't care what background you are. So it's not about one or the other. I mean, it just happened to be that those were the people that were commenting on Facebook.
Just not the Methodists.
Whatever.
I'm afraid of them.
I'm not.
Cash for Clunkers is back. Overhead Door Company of St. Louis is paying cash for your clunkers now. They'll haul away your old garage door and give you instant credit towards a new insulated door. $200 for the first garage door and $100 for each additional door. Cash in your old entry door too. It's Cash for Clunkers now at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Convenient, free, in-home estimates. Schedule online at overheaddoorstlouis.com or call 314-781-5200.
When we started Neovitin back in 2009, we wanted to create a multivitamin that we would take ourselves. That's why we use quality ingredients in our Neovitin Original Formula multivitamin. With over 20 vitamins and minerals, along with our physician-formulated proprietary blend, you can be sure you are getting the highest quality daily nutritional support. Give Neovitin Original Formula multivitamin a try for yourself. Find it at your local Schnucks, Deerbergs, and online at neovitin.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Oh, these polymers aren't as flexible as batch K3.
Researcher Laurie is stretched thin.
Did you get the vulcanization analytics from V66? Oh, wait, are these rubber scores from last week?
She needs to hire new lab technicians so she can bounce back into her old self.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our matching platform lets you spend less time searching and more time connecting with candidates. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
It's Tom Ackerman for Ophthalmology Associates, the doctor's doctors, 314-966-5000 or online at youridoc.com.
Don't let mosquitoes ruin your time outdoors. At Rottler Pest Solutions, our mosquito control services are designed to dramatically reduce mosquito activity so you can enjoy your yard in peace. Take back your yard. Visit Rottler.com today to learn more and schedule your free inspection.
KMOX is everywhere. 1120 a.m. Streaming live on the Odyssey app and now at 104.1 FM.
Welcome back, DGS on KMOX. Rachel, did you see the story about the heckler?
I did not.
So, Wheels, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's this guy who likes to gamble, and he was betting a sports app, and he was doing a parlay where I need Rachel to win and Kevin to lose and Andrew to this, and he needed this female sprinter in the NCAA to lose, so he followed her around for like a couple hours and was saying all these really mean, insulting, personal, pejorative things to her to upset her, and then was screaming while she was in the blocks, and she lost, and he won his parlay. And so now it's kind of bringing attention to this phenomenon of people doing this.
Man, that is so pathetic and sad. Oh, my gosh. I feel terrible for that athlete, first of all. That's not fair. But
even if it didn't affect her performance, just being followed around.
being harassed.
Yeah.
Being harassed. This kind of reminds me, have you guys seen what Olivia Dunn is saying, the former LSU gymnast?
No.
She said that she is being like stalked at different airports. People will look up when she's going to fly somewhere, and middle-aged men will be waiting for her, like after security, I guess, and they will like circle around her and make her sign autographs and won't leave her alone until she does what they want basically.
Autograph hounds are the worst. I mean, if you've been around sports at all, you've seen, like, you'll see that same dynamic, and it's why some guys and some women don't sign unless it's at an organized event, because they know a lot of those people are there, and they've just got a folder of things for people to sign, and they're just going to turn around and sell them on the internet, as opposed to fans who just want the interaction with their favorites, and it's hard to tell the difference between them. But that's a dirty way to go about it for sure. And unfortunately, what's going to happen is she's probably going to have to spend money to have security.
Yeah.
And the stuff, like, there's a case here recently too. Pitcher for the Astros, Lance McCullers Jr., he and his family got threatened over the phone, like death threats over from a guy who was a gambler because he lost a bet on something related to his performance. And it turns out this guy was a drunk better overseas, not even in the U.S., but you're calling a family's house or a cell phone and you're making death threats. And now the guy's under investigation. It's crazy that this idea that, one, that those things actually, like heckling her is actually going to change the outcome, right? How many athletes are heckled on a daily basis? Are you really impacting all of them? Probably not. So don't take credit like you're some hero, because what you are is a degenerate. If you're following someone around to try to throw them off their game, you're a degenerate. If you're at a game and you're heckling a guy out of fun, or heckling an athlete, like joking around and having fun, good for you. That's good sport. We're all playing around. But when you get to that point where you're nasty and you follow someone around a venue and you keep doing it over and over and over again, there's something wrong with you.
We need to shame these people. These kind of people feel way too safe acting like that. And then, if someone were to say to this person who is heckling the athlete, like, hey, shut up, he'd be like, it's my First Amendment right to do whatever I want at all time. It's like these people just feel way too comfortable making other people extremely uncomfortable.
Yeah. What I find fascinating is the chicken or the egg question about this, because a lot of it becomes about, whoa, this is the danger of online gambling or legalized gambling. And I think, there's an element to that, but these same people were betting illegally anyway before. It's not like they weren't betting before. I think this is a lot more about online culture at the moment, and how that aggressive, I don't care what other people think mentality has been pushed by the Andrew Tate crowd and those types of people. You can just do what you want. Nobody can tell you what to do. And I think it's like those two things intersecting that leads to this. I think people oversimplify it when it's like, well, this is what happening when you have gambling apps. I mean, guys, these people have had gambling apps with their illegal bookmakers for 20 years. Like, that's not new. The gambling part's not new. The fact that it's above board and legal is new. But what is changing is the whole atmosphere of online interaction with other human beings. Pretty perfect storm for nasty behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with Rage about that. Like, for example, it's probably a bad analogy, but this Egyptian idiot that was throwing Molotov cocktails at Jewish people.
Man.
And I watched several segments on it, and people saying we need billions more for Jewish protection, and maybe we do. But I think the main thing we need, because we're not Minority Report, you can't just guess when it's going to happen, is we need immediate, swift, and harsh penalties for people who, whether it's following someone around and heckling them in an abusive way, or it's throwing Molotov cocktails at people, or it's, just the people who get called out seem a lot of times not to be the ones who need it the most.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. But obviously there's also that percentage that they're not just doing it for what we're talking about. They know they're building to something.
Yeah.
Because this guy was planning this forever.
Yeah.
I don't know what you do, but the harsh punishment would be a start, right?
Start your day with an edge.
Total Information AM.
It's like breakfast for your brain. I wake up, I turn on the news.
I gotta listen 3 or 4 times every day.
Debbie Monterey, Megan Lynch, Tom Ackerman.
I like to wake up with the news.
Total Information AM.
It's where I get my news. Traffic conditions and potential weather that's coming.
If it's gonna rain, I want to know.
Total Information AM. Weekdays 5 to 9.
I like to turn it on and just get caught up.
Where I get my news. The news, weather, and traffic.
On the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights, at home or at work. We'll make your happy place your own. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
This is Mason Wynn of the Cards. Community America asked me to tell you what it feels like on Profit Payout Day, when our members get a portion of the profits. I'm thinking it probably feels like opening day. Exciting, new, or even better. I bet it feels like playing the star shortstop who turns a game-winning double play. And the fans go wild. They ask for selfies with you and autographs. You get a lifetime supply of free stadium hot dogs. Yep, that's basically what it feels like when you get your profit payout. Community America Credit Union. Invested in you.
I'm Tom Ackerman with this month's Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight, Dr. Albert Kim.
It's just really scary when someone hears that they have a brain tumor. We're here to help you, guide you through that, and also to have a treatment plan that you can understand so you can be successful in terms of not only clinical outcomes or something sterile like that, but also so you could have a fulfilling life.
Thanks to Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, visit siteman.wustl.edu.
So sorry about that. We are going to go to Dave Murray's forecast, which is sponsored by Choruses of Harmony STL.
There is another slow-moving front on the way. Partly sunny skies going through our Tuesday. Chance of a couple of spot showers, but a lot of dry time. Breezy in the 80s. The actual high may touch 90, 91 degrees. Tonight, lots of clouds around breezy. Couple of showers, a few rumbles, 72. Wednesday, periods of showers, couple of thunderstorms, breezy and 80, and this unsettled pattern that's making a comeback is in place Wednesday night, Thursday, and again on Friday. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Join the Choruses of Harmony STL Saturday, June 14th at the Two Hill Performing Arts Center for Acapella Live Broadway, featuring the Ambassadors of Harmony, the Recruits, and Visions of Harmony. Call 314-516-4949 or visit harmonystl.com.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. I am quite aware of the dangers being on the road. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. These families' lives will be changed in an instant. We fight for these families as if they were our own. We've become America's largest injury law firm by winning cases just like these. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Hi, my name is Christina Straight, the owner of Straight Realty, and I'm asking you, what do you want in a realtor? Do you want experience? I've been a broker for over 21 years. Do you want to know how much I've sold? I've sold over $500 million, yes, $1 billion with a B, in sales. Do you want value? I now list properties for only 2%. So, if you're looking for all these things and want the best, then call me, 314-441-4444. Why pay more than $2? You can also listen to my podcast on my website, straightrealty.com.
Commissions are not regulated and are negotiable. Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
Just checking out the Schnucks Rewards app right now. The Schnucks Rewards app will provide you with personalized savings based on what you typically buy at Schnucks, which is really nice because sometimes it's like, I wasn't going to get that, but it's on sale, so I'll stock up. I won't have to worry about it in the future. It's just really nice and convenient. One of the many, many tools that make your grocery shopping life just a little bit easier when you use the Schnucks Rewards app. You can also order curbside pickup or delivery straight from the app. I love creating my grocery list on the app and then just kind of checking stuff off as I'm going through the store. Plus, it lets you know what aisle every item is in. So if you're looking for something you've never picked up before, that makes it super convenient. And the best part is you get 2% cash back on every single thing that you purchase. You earn points on every purchase, and that really adds up over time. So go download it today if you haven't already. Just go to your app store and search for the Schnucks Rewards app.
Hey, it's Jeff at Sachs Financial. Over the last 15 years, we've been able to help our clients focus on the fundamentals and tune out the daily grind by putting a great retirement plan in place. If you don't have one, find out how to get started at retiresafestl.com.
Tonight, the Cards, the Royals.
Ameren Total Access 550.
Cardinals Radio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Welcome back, DGS on KMOX. Well, now you've gone and done it. You made Wheeler mad.
Dude.
Now he's even mad at sports people.
What did I do?
No, Rach didn't do it.
No, not you.
Oh, you were looking at me when you said that, and I was like, oh, gosh.
I also thought you were talking about her, and I'm like, what did you do? What did you do to Griffin?
Yeah.
Damn it, Rachel. I knew one of these. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I told them, watch out. She's going to make him mad.
I like angry Kevin.
Yeah.
It's fun.
He comes around every once in a while.
Yeah. As long as he's just not angry at me.
Yeah, hasn't happened yet.
Nope, not yet. On a good run.
There have been times in the office where he's gotten really mad, and I think it's directed at me, and I have to like parse. It isn't, but I have to like parse that out and be like, wait a minute, did I do something?
Never been angry at any of you guys.
Good. Oh, that's nice.
Because arguing's not angry. Those are different things.
Yeah.
Very different things.
Yeah, you have a very high tolerance for arguing.
Oh, yeah. More than most.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty much more than anyone.
Well, for understandable reasons.
Yeah.
Like this has been your career.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's part of the deal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you go back and forth.
It must be weird doing a 4-hour show without arguing.
No, because it wasn't always that, but it does become that quite a bit. Sports is very arguey.
Mm-hmm.
You know? But I was arguey before that.
When you get mad at callers, or when you would get mad at callers, does it typically fall within a couple of buckets? Like, don't know what they're talking about, or because I can't imagine someone, say Matt Pauley, weren't Matt Pauley, but he had all this knowledge.
Right, right.
And he called and crossed swords with you.
Not going to be that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, not going to be that way. It's never. Whenever it's somebody that clearly has paid attention, it's fine. It's fine. It's the people that will do. It's kind of like what we talked about in the first segment. Like you'll hear one thing said and assume that covers every single thing in that world, that topic, and they're like, "Well, you said this." Like the inability to parse things out and understand that one thing doesn't cover everything. I'll give you one example. This wasn't really heated, but this will be a thing that in a call-in setting would be irritating. Would be acting like you don't know the most obvious thing because you didn't say it. Right? Like I did Derek Gould's Best podcast in baseball the other day. We were talking about Matt Carpenter. And we were talking about the Cardinals developing middle-of-the-order bats and all that. And we had somebody reply with essentially, well, you know he didn't bat third, right? And we yeah, Derek's at every game forever. He's covered every game. We know he batted leadoff most of the time. We understand that. And you should not be questioning whether we understand that because, we're there. It's what we do. You're not paying attention to the context of the conversation, which is players of that caliber, not specifically which spot you bat in the order. And it's just like those things will set me off because if you're not going to give somebody like Derek or me the benefit of the doubt that we remembered what part of the order that Matt Carpenter hit in that recently and we were there, come on. You got to give some grace. And also the people that will not just admit that they don't know things because they've never looked. It's none of it's magic or anything. Just people don't pay attention sometimes, and they think their gut tells them something that the actual results don't back up.
You know what, though? I'm not pushing back against you. I'm just a different person. I don't like the Marvel universe anymore because they made it too hard for Dave. Like it's hard for me to keep up. And I feel that way about sports sometimes. that I enjoy listening to you guys talk about exit velo and such, and I think that's cool. And like came off at 105 miles an hour at a 32-inch launch angle, but I feel that way about baseball sometimes, where it's like I'm getting kind of tired.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. But then don't tell me I don't know what I'm talking about because your high school coach told you something different 25 years ago. Right? I mean, like, that's the stuff we get. It's like, well, we always were taught. Well, okay, but that was because we didn't understand.
Do you think the future of sports talk radio is metrics?
No. It's only a complement to the conversation. And what matters more is what does it mean? What does it mean for who's going to play, who's going to get traded, which prospects are going to make it, which prospects are not going to make it. The numbers themselves are just, whether they're actual stats or it's velocity or spin rate, none of that stuff is the conversation. That's just the evidence that gives us an idea of how we're going to forecast the future. And what we know now is certain things are more predictive than others. So where we used to think that batting average was predictive, it's not. Other things are more so, and that's what we use. But that's just the tool to get to the bigger point, which is why is something happening, what can be done to enhance it or to correct it if it's wrong, and then what to expect from player X, Y, or Z based on what we can all see. Because our eyes tell us one thing, but our eyes aren't always right.
Yeah, that reminds me so much of one of my favorite scenes from a movie, which I've been getting on TikTok a lot, in Moneyball, when the scouts are having the meeting with Brad Pitt. And they're like, you're discounting 150 years of scouting experience and our gut and our eyeballs. And Brad Pitt's like, yeah, it doesn't stand up to data.
But in some ways, those things are important. Like, experience matters. So, as an example, when I listen to any former ball player, anybody that played professionally for a period of time, has a much better eye for things than me, or Joe Fan, or Johnny high school coach, right? Because they were in it and saw it. So their level of eye test is way better than an amateur's level of eye test, which is why for amateurs, it's way more important to understand what's going on. So you don't just trust your eyes, because your eyes can deceive you. Unless you're breaking down film in your spare time and you're looking at swings from the side angle to see what's going on with, each element of it, or you're doing that same thing and looking at, the slow-mo of a pitcher's delivery and where's his release point, what's his extension like. If you're doing all that, maybe your eye test stands up to what the data shows us. But how do they do things in Wall Street right now? How do the most successful hedge fund managers run it? Do they run off their gut, or do they run off data?
Yeah, did you see the latest one? There's a hedge fund that has an algorithm that for 2 years has returned a 22% return, and they don't touch it.
Right.
It just runs. Why do I keep hearing?
Yeah, I'm hearing a beeping in the background like a computer's, like an email coming in.
It's my computer won't stop beeping, but I don't want to restart it because then I lose all the stuff that I'm working on. I should have turned my mic on when I wasn't actively talking. I'm sorry.
Okay.
My bad.
It's a good apology.
I just thought it was something else, though. That's fine. It's just
it was a very thorough apology.
You're just like,
acknowledged.
First of all, somebody's sending you a lot of emails.
It's not emails. There's something. The computer's messed up, like every computer here.
Is it Steve flirting?
It's just not.
It's Steve flirting over. Like, Steve won't stop sending me DMs, and it's. And it is like every 5 seconds. I kind of stopped noticing it in here, which is why I forgot to turn the mic off.
I'm a little worried because I didn't hear it at all.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-oh.
Ooh,
it was like everything Wheels was saying to hear. Ding.
Yeah, it was like every fourth word is like ding.
Completely oblivious.
The computer's disagreeing. It's like, nope.
Bing. Yeah, I think that's...
Now, here's a segue. In Moneyball, my favorite scene is when they're trying to get Chris Pratt to play first base, and he's never played it. And Brad Pitt says, it's not hard at all. Tell him, Wash, to Ron Washington. And he says, it's incredibly hard. And that reminds me of Doge. I was reading an article today that President Trump has been asking his inner circle, was this all a bunch of BS? And it turns out that they may have spent more money than they saved. They didn't come anywhere near $1 trillion, that they fired a whole bunch of people and got rid of a bunch of programs, which very well may come back and bite us on the ass. Now, just to be fair, I have been saying for years, on and off the air, that there's too much fraud, waste, and abuse in the federal government. It's an octopus. It's bloated. It's huge. We don't need all this. We don't need multi-trillion-dollar budgets. And I think most of us feel that way. And then when you see it in action in the way that we did, it turned me off of it because I thought that we just took a cleaver to a person and just hacked off a bunch of fingers and didn't do any good. And now I think even Donald Trump is realizing that's probably true. And it also taught me, and this is fine, fair game, you have to learn these things to now know they're true. That to really make an impact, you have to touch the military, Medicare, entitlements, you have to. And until we all put on our big boy pants and decide we're ready to do that, we can do a DOGE or, the next Democrat administration can do their version of it. But we're really just touching the fringes. We're not really making a big difference. We're really just kind of dicking stuff up. Yeah. We're just making agencies not run as well as they used to. People are not as safe. Their tummies are not as full. And we just did it to make ourselves feel better. And it didn't do much any good.
Well, it's not a coincidence in my world that a lot of the cuts that happened were in agencies that would either oversee or investigate businesses like Elon's.
Yeah, that was quite a happenstance.
You're cutting into consumer protections. Why ever would a businessman want to do that? What's the old? I forget the Latin. Is it cui bono? Who benefits? Why did you do it? Well, who benefits from it? Clearly, people like Elon benefit from taking away consumer protections, from cutting into anything that would oversee how businesses operate. And then they would sit back, right? You start with, we're going to cut $2 trillion. Oh, wait, no, it's going to be $1 trillion. Oh, wait, no, it's going to be $500 million. According to the Gerald R. Ford School of Public Policy, they have saved somewhere between $2 and $7 billion actual benefit. And it's almost all letting low salaried employees go and cutting jobs. In the FAA and in the park services and in places like that, well, you didn't accomplish anything real.
Well, I'm 60, and I can take my Social Security benefits at 62 and Medicare, but I'm going to keep working. And the way they, take what you make against it, I would probably just keep going to 67 or maybe even 70 when you get a bigger payout, unless I start thinking that I won't be grandfathered in, because I guarantee you, in the next 10 years, maybe 5, it's going to be 70 years old or 65. He'll probably go to 65 first, but that's going to happen. Rach is not retiring at 62 or 65 unless she's independently wealthy. But her generation 62 is going to be meaningless to them. They're going to raise that.
Yeah, and the good news
if not worse.
It's not good that won't happen, but the good news is her generation will live longer than ours. And you'll still have more time at the back end because, people are going to continue to live longer with health, with the advancements. But that's not really the point, right? Like, the point is, it's not even going to be a choice unless you happen to be independently wealthy.
Yes.
And we don't have the stomach to do. And I'm not even sure there is a good solution, right? I mean, I'm not sure there is, because I look at Social Security as an example. I mean, that's my money. I put it in there. We all put it in there. That's not someone else's money. That's not the government's money. That's mine. You're just holding it for me because you've been taking it out of every paycheck that I've had since I was in high school. So, and that's true for everybody. That's true for every working class person. That's not an entitlement. You are entitled to your money, right? And we don't have a choice. We can't opt out of it. We can't say we're not doing that. So that part needs to be fixed without cutting benefits and without taking away from the people that pay into it.
Yeah.
How do you do that? Great question. I would tell you, you guys are all tired of hearing it, but one answer to making up part of the ground is that people like Elon Musk pay actual taxes on what they actually earn and can't game the system so that they don't pay income tax.
Stop making it mad, Rage. Tell you guys about Triton Exteriors, and it's funny. I started to say, I don't know what else to tell you guys, which is my job, doing live endorsements and doing them for years and years for the same clients. But with Triton, it's I'll tell you this, they are in a dirty business. That exteriors companies tend to be on the dishonest side. And I know this because Better Business Bureau, the bulk of the complaints they get are from construction companies and exterior companies. A lot of them are very fly-by-night, like actual fraudster criminals, and some just aren't very good at what they do. Triton is very good at what they do. They're very conscientious. They are a customer service company. They do roofs and siding and gutters and fences. They're out of Webster Groves. They're a James Hardy and Smart Siding company. They're always going to be the middle bid because they're not going to cut corners. They're not going to take advantage of you. So if you need some work done to the outside of your home, you can trust them. They'll be on the job quickly and get it done quickly, and you'll be happy. That's 314-717-1159, Triton-STL.com.
Hospital Sisters Health System isn't just in your community. We're your neighbors, your friends, your support system. From your first visit, you'll experience expert care backed by the strength of our entire health network. At HSHS, we put your health first, with medical expertise and kindness that makes you feel valued at every step. HSHS, connected to our community, committed to your health. Visit hshs.org/caring to learn more.
SNL Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold-filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call SNL. 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. SNL Coin.
Not available in all states. Rates vary. Building a financial safety net for your family can be tough. But with term life insurance through Ethos, you can have peace of mind that they can pay the mortgage and other bills if something happens to you. With coverage in as little as 10 minutes, all online, Ethos finds your best rate across their multiple trusted carriers. Some policies as low as $1 a day billed monthly. And even in uncertain times, your term life insurance rates and payout don't change. Get your free quote at ethos.com/life. That's ethos.com/life.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Mizzou football is here to stay. After an undefeated home season and a second straight 10-win year, the Tigers are looking for more in 2025.
Eli and the boys have done it again.
With a top 10 transfer portal class and a strong home schedule highlighted by Kansas, Alabama, South Carolina, and Texas A&M, you don't want to miss out. Get your spot in line by joining the season ticket waitlist at mutigers.com/FB waitlist. MIZ.
Get this, 42% of baby boomers don't even know how much money they have in their nest egg. If you're not sure where you stand in terms of getting ready for retirement, you should be listening to the All Financial Hour with Steve All.
Let's sit down and talk about your questions, because I think that's the most important thing that it is out there. It's what questions do you have?
Saturday mornings at 10 or Sunday evenings at 6, right here on KMOX.
Welcome back, guys. DGS on KMOX. Dave Glover here with Rachel Zimmerman, Kevin. I started saying Kevin O'Keefe. I have no idea why.
I'll go by that.
Kevin Wheeler, Andrew
It's
Stoles.
Irish enough.
Andrew O'Keefe.
Andrew O'Stoles.
I wish.
We have Ricky Horton coming up. That's always great. We have the Think Tank today coming up. Jeff Rainford and Kurt Barr. So stick with us. You can also podcast us. You can watch us on Facebook and on YouTube, like a lot of you are right now. You can go to the Odyssey app. You can listen to 104.1 FM. So kind of hard to avoid us at this point. So it's been a controversial first hour. It's about to get even worse because Rach is about to go off on male frogs.
Oh, man. Okay, so the stereotype is that...
Radical feminism, once again.
The stereotype is that women are always yapping, right? It's
no, that's right.
The girls saying so many more words per day than the guys.
Exactly.
Well, I got to tell you something. My personal experience, working with you guys...
Yeah, Rachel's the quiet one.
I am Dave and I are the quiet ones.
Yes,
We
I
got
was going to
wheels and
say.
Andrew on
I
this
was going
show.
to say.
Yeah.
But that was the first thing I thought of when I saw this new study. It says we haven't been listening to female frog calls, and that's because the males just won't shut up.
Yeah. Well,
So they
my
only have
bad.
1.4% of frog species have documented female calls, and it's not because they aren't saying anything. It's because the males are just constantly
Yeah.
like drowning them out when they study this in the wild. So
We need to start hearing women frogs.
yeah.
That's interesting.
Can't identify.
We need to sit down and start listening to women frogs.
The female frog calls are also quite diverse. They've been classified into 6 distinct types: advertisement, courtship, amplexus, that's the mating embrace, release to signal non-receptiveness, I assume to the mating, distress, and aggressive calls.
Okay, so these girls need to start worrying about like the Bechdel test here. It sounds like all they think about is mating, all right?
All I'm thinking about is your computer going off.
Yeah.
Oh, it's doing it again. See, like I said, I don't even notice it happening anymore.
Andrew's like when someone like doesn't change the battery in their smoke alarm.
It's
and then
literally
like,
that, which Dave just said the other day is his least
Yeah.
favorite thing in the
Yeah.
whole world
That-
is the
that computer is like the male
batteryless
frogs.
smoke alarm.
Yeah, why are you not turning it off?
Because I have a bunch of progress made on like, all the editing and podcasts and all that stuff that I have to do. And so if I were to get rid of that, I would erase all the progress that I've already done and I'd have
Wait,
to
you
do it
can't
all
just-
over. And
They don't have an audio settings thing to like mute certain things?
not easily.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that means yes.
Yes, well, it does mean yes, but it means that I'd have to keep
Because
every time I turn the mic on, I'd have to like completely turn the computer volume down through the computer. It's a big pain in the butt.
Why do you need the computer volume on?
So I can like edit stuff on there.
Yeah, that's fair.
Do we know what the computer is saying? Like what's the alert about?
It's like a literal like error in the computer. Like
Oh.
I don't think it would. The only way that I could think that it might go away is if I were to. What was that?
No, that was me. Don't worry. I clicked the wrong thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's happening. Where the hell's Grimace?
Oh, I
Get
miss
Grimace
Grimace.
back in here.
I miss Grimace. Everybody was going crazy for Grimace, and I don't think Maria knew who Grimace was. And when I was
a lot
walking,
of people who didn't know.
when I was walking Grimace out, Maria goes, "Who's your friend?" As I'm like, "Right this way, Grimace," and the big purple chicken nugget monster is like waddling behind me.
Yeah, the McDonald's Land characters didn't mean the same to everybody. Steve thought he was from Sesame Street.
Sesame Street.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
At California Psychics, we know that sometimes you can wake up thinking,
I don't know if I'm in the right career. Ew. Or the right relationship.
but whatever your life dilemma, at California Psychics, we'll give you the guidance you need to feel certain about your life choices. And because we only connect you with the very best, we guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. California Psychics. Call 1-800-PREDICT today and get 20 minutes for just $20.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
So I'm kind of a weird guy, as you know. When I go places I haven't been, even fun places like a new restaurant, or back in the days when I used to travel and, go to resorts and things like that, I always wanted the most information I could get. And if you're like that, let me tell you, rather than being hyperbolic about Mike and Michael's Flooring, been with me for 24 years, here's what it's like. So 3 locations, and they couldn't be more flooring stores. They're not huge. They're not small. They're not opulent. They're not threadbare. They're flooring stores. They look exactly like flooring stores. You go in. There'll be more people working than are there probably because they're well-staffed. Hi, how are you? Anything I can help you with? I would lead with, I heard about you on the DGS because for a quarter century now, most of their leads have come from this show. So they're going to roll out the red carpet, no pun, but they're not going to bother you. They're not going to chase you. They're not going to follow you. But when it comes time to say, you know what, I'm interested in this. I'm interested in the middle of the road, Coronet, Berber, XYZ. They'll give you their actual opinion, which another thing I love. I love going to a restaurant. Hey, what's good on the menu tonight? Chef really likes the halibut. So to me, it's the best way to shop. No one's going to hover, but no one's going to ignore. You can find the closest of the 3 locations to you by going to michaelsflooringoutlet.com.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call the Lance Story Law Firm today and let us get between you and the IRS. We'll protect your rights, including your right to appeal or even your right to take the IRS to tax court. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney team who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Story Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis, or visit Lance, DRURY, law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm, 314-260-6120.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Winner of 4 Edward R. Murrow Awards, including Overall Excellence. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
At 2 o'clock, we've got 85 degrees downtown at the Arch. More women leaving leadership positions in St. Louis.
U.S. Attorney Saylor Fleming has resigned her post. She was first appointed in the first Trump administration in December 2020 and served through the Biden administration. The Department of Justice says First Assistant U.S. Attorney Matthew Drake will take her place for now, but any permanent replacement needs Senate approval. No details were given about Fleming's future plans. And apparently, the first woman to lead the St. Louis FBI office is out. Ashley Johnson was named special agent in charge last September by former FBI Director Christopher Wray. No official word about her departure from that post, but the FBI website now lists Christopher Crocker as the special agent in charge. Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
The St. Louis Circuit Attorney is giving no indication he plans to seek the removal of City Sheriff Alfred Montgomery. Gabe Gore confirms to KMOX he received a letter from the Holy Joe Society, a watchdog group, asking him, the city councilor, and Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey to oust Montgomery over neglect of duty claims.
I reviewed their letter. They're entitled to their opinions. You know, I get lots of communications from interested people in the public, and I read them and consider them and move on.
Montgomery's office has said the Holy Joe Society's accusations are politically motivated and not based on facts. The family of the Boulder, Colorado firebombing suspect is in federal custody. According to senior sources in the Department of Homeland Security and Immigrations and Customs Enforcement, the wife and 5 children of the 45-year-old have been taken into custody as well. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem confirms the move.
The Department of Homeland Security and ICE are taking the family of suspected Boulder, Colorado terrorist and illegal alien Mohammed Solomon into ICE custody. Now, Mohammed's despicable actions will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. But we're also investigating to what extent his family knew about this horrific attack, if they had any knowledge of it, or if they provided support to it.
The first infusion of tornado relief funds are moving forward from the state. The Senate Appropriations Committee voted unanimously to approve transferring $25 million to the Missouri Housing Trust Fund.
We are truly grateful for the proposal for this $25 million in housing. We are, because, you know, that's your base, that's your home, that's what keeps you safe, that's what help support everything else.
St. Louis Mayoral Policy Advisor Casey Milberg testified in favor of the bill, which has more steps to go through. She says beyond damage to buildings, one of the city's biggest concerns is getting enough food so those displaced don't go hungry. The Board of Aldermen voted today to pass Board Bill 23 to help renters most affected by the tornado. When the program becomes active, funds will be given out to pay for either the first or last month's rent at a new place. Alderman Rasheen Aldrich says the Appropriations Committee is now being asked to add $1 million in city reserves to this fund.
If they approve it, we're talking about, $1,260,000 in this fund to be able to help people to get relief if they have to relocate.
Aldrich says he expects a bill to be introduced later this week for aldermen to consider spending $30 million in RAM settlement money for tornado victim relief. The KMOX Business Desk, an international group, is warning U.S. economic growth will slow sharply this year.
The Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, or OECD, predicts GDP growth will slow to 1.6% this year, a big drop from 2.8% last year. The report doesn't mention President Trump by name, but cites the new tariffs as a major reason for the slowdown. The OECD says retailers will pass the costs of the tariffs to consumers, causing inflation to spike again later this year. The group also warns global economic growth will slow. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
The Dow from Stifel's up 229 points to 42,535. We've got some debris on 70 going westbound at 141. That's got the left 3 lanes closed. 70 west at 141, debris in the left 3 lanes. Disabled vehicle 6440 east at 170. That's in the right lane. Stall 270 south at Manchester Road. That's on the right shoulder. And some road work on 141 going north at Page. That's got the right lane closed. Also some road work on 64 east to the Metro East at 15th Street.
There is another slow-moving front on the way. Partly sunny skies going through our Tuesday. Chance of a couple of spot showers, but a lot of dry time. Breezy in the 80s. The actual high may touch 90, 91 degrees. Tonight, lots of clouds around breezy. A couple of showers, a few rumbles, 72. Wednesday, periods of showers, couple of thunderstorms, breezy and 80, and this unsettled pattern that's making a comeback is in place Wednesday night, Thursday, and again on Friday. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
We've got winds out of the south at 17 miles per hour, gusting up to 27. It's 85 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Weather sponsored by Renner Garage Door, forward and back, RENNER.
Cardinal Cowboy here. For over 65 years, Renner Garage Door has delivered top-notch service, sales, and installation. Get your free estimate today. RennerDoorSTL.com. Renner, forward and back.
RENNER. The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
Welcome back, guys. DGS 104.1 FM KMOX. Happy Tuesday. Pretty day. So before we go to Razor's Edge, talk to me about this new stud for the Royals. It's starting tonight.
Yeah, so the Royals have called up one of the top prospects in baseball. His name is Jack Caglione. He played at Florida last year. So this time last year, he was getting ready to play in the College World Series. He set home run records in college. And he's got power like Judge and Ohtani. Like, that's how hard he hits the ball. He's a big, big, big guy, 6'5", maybe 240, 250. So he's kind of their latest, superstar prospect, and he's making his major league debut tonight. And it's interesting because I didn't know this, but a couple of sports talk guys from Kansas City are here in the building right now. They did their show from here today because that guy's debut is that big of a deal.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they made the trip across the state because his debut is that big of a thing. And the Royals are a pretty good team, right? I mean, like, they really pitch well. Their offense has been erratic, which is why they're all excited about adding a big bat to the order, and we'll see where he ends up, in the order. But they're a competitive team. I think they're 2 games over 500. The Cardinals are 4 games over 500. So it actually looks like a really fun, competitive series.
Cool. Razor's Edge?
Yeah, a couple of things I wanted to talk about. So we talk about, the economy on the show, a few things that are like recession indicators, but we haven't really talked about if we are making any personal adjustments, maybe in anticipation of a recession coming or just financial fears, whatever. And I get it, it's kind of like a personal thing. But I thought of that when I saw this story. Campbell's Company, said consumers are preparing meals at home at the highest level since early 2020, when COVID forced many consumers to stop visiting restaurants and other establishments. So people are cooking at home the most they have in the past 5 years. And that's because people are feeling uncertain about the economy. That was interesting to me because I have certainly been preparing like way more meals at home. That's just an easy thing to save money, is to not eat out all the time. I was wondering if you guys are going down that path as well, or if you've made any sort of little adjustments to kind of maybe like brace for whatever the impact could be down the road.
Yeah, not so much because of that. I'm not smart enough to think in terms of that. And the Glover money holes have been open now for so long. Like, there's just so much money going out from the Glover Incorporated, with Phoebe in school and the sororities, $1 million a year. And it just, it's always one thing after another. And I know that one of these days, because I'm going to stop working and they're going to stop taking my money, and I will be able to have something more resembling a budget. But the one thing I've done is my business biggest expense, believe it or not, is DoorDash. That's my number one expense. I mean, like, I have a car payment and a house payment and things like that, but I don't buy a bunch of stuff on eBay anymore. It's been forever since I bought a guitar. I just don't make purchases. I just really don't. I wear used T-shirts and jeans. And so I have really tried to cut back to DoorDash on the weekends and making more food. I don't enjoy making food. I love cooking, but you know what I mean? It's different. I like entertaining. I don't like just cooking. So yeah, that's probably my biggest thing, is cutting down on DoorDash, which is, it's ridiculous. Like, I heard Amy talking about yesterday that not only has she never DoorDashed, but she has never had a pizza delivered to her home.
Oh.
Never in her life. And talking about how a $7 item becomes a $24 item. And yeah, that's guilty as charged for the past like 3-4 years.
I think it's been a lot pretty normal for a lot of people since COVID. Right? Like, my kid's like that.
Oh, to have things delivered.
Like, to get, she'll get like, I mean, when she was staying with us, this is a few years ago, but it was right after COVID, not long after, she was staying with us in a gap year between grad school and between master's and PG, whatever. It doesn't matter. But she was ordering Chipotle and had it delivered. I don't remember which service, but probably DoorDash. And I'm like, how much does that cost you? And she was like, with the tip, I don't know, like $25. I'm like, Chipotle is 1 mile from our house. You could have ordered it online and had gone and parked in front. They would have brought it out to your car, and it would have cost you $12. What are you doing? I'm like, and again, it's one thing, though, if you're a grown person with a real job as opposed to a college student who doesn't have a job or doesn't have a big job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's a different level of all things, whether it's grocery shopping. When I was in my 20s, even 30s, I bought as cheap of stuff as I could buy at the grocery store because I needed to. You know, I mean, like, it wasn't like, oh, I'm just going to get whatever I want. It was like, that thing's too expensive. I'll get something else, which is totally normal. And it's when you get either older or you just happen to get the job that can help you cover it, where you're able to be like, I don't really care about that. I'm going to do what I want to do because I feel like doing it.
George Mahey just texted and said, like Amy, I have never DoorDashed nor had a pizza delivered either.
Wow.
I like my food hot and fresh.
I've had pizzas delivered. I mean, we definitely have done that. I've never DoorDashed. But it's what George says, though. It's because I can control it. I know when if they tell me, okay, your food's going to be ready at 5:30, I'll be there at 5:25, and I'll be there right when it's handed to me, and I'll be home in 4 or 5 minutes. I know how long it's going to be.
Here's what you and Amy and George are missing. You don't understand how much I hate to put my pants on. So,
I mean, it's a good point.
Right.
Sometimes it is. Okay. Recently, I have made the decision of like, I really shouldn't be spending my money on this. My money is better put elsewhere. So I'm not going to do it but like a year ago, man, I get really mad at myself when I think about how much I was using that service. But it's a, there's a couple of different brackets of it, I guess. There's, I don't want to leave the house, like Dave said. They make it easy. It's like giving yourself a little present. Like, oh, I don't even have to do anything.
Right.
And suddenly I have Little Caesars on my doorstep. Like, I get why people get so addicted to it.
Yeah.
And it becomes so appealing because it's like, I didn't have to do anything and it just showed up. It's like magic.
I'll be honest, though. If I lived in the city, I'd probably do it. Like if things were less convenient. Like for me, I live in an area where it's very convenient. There's not much I couldn't find within a 5 minutes drive.
Yeah. If I had to get on the highway to go get everything I wanted, that might change things for me.
Part of my positioning is that the place I order pizza from is 1 mile away. McDonald's is 1.5 miles. That's the point. Is it's fortunate to have the convenience, which is why I take advantage of it. But I might not if I lived in the city.
Yeah.
Just thought that was really interesting to hear from Campbell's because for the longest time, like during COVID, for instance, a lot of people ordered these services and it's like, it kind of doesn't make sense because you would think people would be more careful with their cash. But instead, it's like, oh, we're just going to pay for the convenience. It's interesting to kind of finally see this trickle down in some aspect of society where it's like, yeah, we're making more money because cash-strapped consumers are finally cooking at home more. Now, let's kind of pivot here for Razor's Edge. Totally different topic. This is really scary to me. Did you guys hear about this teenager who died during a parasailing accident in Montenegro? She's only 19 years old. She was just hanging out on the beach, and a company approached her to appear in a promotional video, and it's just supposed to highlight summer tourism. And she accepted the offer. She's like, great, it's a free parasailing flight. All I have to do is participate in the shoot. Great, let's do it. So she's got her bikini on. They get her up in the parasail. They said she was in great spirits, in a good mood, didn't appear to be afraid of water or afraid of heights when she got up there. Initially very calm and composed, but once they became airborne, she starts tugging at her life jacket and her harness, and eyewitnesses heard her scream, get me down, before she undid her waist belt and harness and fell into the sea.
Wow.
So they tried to get her help immediately. And they did get there quickly, but she was declared dead after being retrieved from the water. So you just kind of wonder what was going through this young woman's head as far as yeah, I'm good, I'm calm, this is going to be a fun experience. And then when she's up there to kind of have that reaction of I mean, that just seems like the opposite of what you should do.
It's like a panic attack.
Yeah, it does sound like a panic attack. It does.
And her family is like, there's no way she was trying to take her own life or anything like that. This was just really a freak panic attack thing that she just let herself out of the harness and fell to her death. Very, very sad. Very bleak.
Crazy.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I guess you don't know you're afraid of something, right? Because that would be, if you were afraid of heights, you wouldn't think you'd do that, but maybe she didn't know she was.
Yeah, maybe.
We get it. Attention spans just aren't what they used to be. Heads in social media and eyes on Netflix. But what do people do with their ears? Well, for one, they're listening to audio. Americans spend 4.4 hours with audio every day. Oh, and you want the proof? Well, you just sat through this ad that's now approaching 30 seconds. What could you say to a potential customer in 30 seconds? Let Odyssey put together a media plan tailor-made for your unique marketing needs. Advertise with Odyssey. Visit ads.odyssey.com.
Wanted to let you guys know about a Lombardo Homes event going on this Saturday, June 7th from noon to 5 p.m. It's the grand opening of the Towns at Linneman. You can tour their beautifully decorated Arlington model home. They're going to have appetizers for you and opportunities to win some great prizes. Now, the Arlington is a spacious 2-story townhome with 2 to 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, and over 1,800 square feet of living space. They've got an open concept great room, dining area, stylish kitchen. Upstairs, there's a cozy loft, or you could do an optional 3rd bedroom, 2nd floor laundry, and a private primary suite with a full bath and walk-in closet.
Yeah, they really do a nice job on these things. So if you have a little time this weekend in the afternoon, head out there. They always have some nice snacks, and it's really easy to go through the entire house to get a feel for it. A lot of people who show up from the show are downsizing. So they're empty nesters. They have a 4,000 square foot house. They want a 2,000 square foot house, but they want it on 3 or 4 acres. Anything that you can dream up, we can do at Lombardo's at lombardohomes.com.
Attention, have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-207-4545. That's 800-207-4545. Once again, that's 800-207-4545.
Start your summer with a weekend showdown. Shohei Ohtani and the Los Angeles Dodgers roll into Busch Stadium June 6th through the 8th. Be there Friday for a cool new promo, the first ever Cardinals neck fan. Perfect for hot game days. Then on Sunday, young fans 15 and under take home a Rawlings Kids Glove. It's a weekend of big matchups and big giveaways. Get your tickets now at cardinals.com/promotions.
This is Mason Wynn, St. Louis Cardinals, for the Lou.
Catch a Cardinals game on your next date night or friends night out. Whether it's love in the stands or laughter with your crew, nothing beats ballpark vibes under the lights. Cold drinks, great eats, and Cardinals baseball. Check out Friday Night Live at Busch Stadium and enjoy happy hour price food and drinks all game long. Every Friday home game. Get your tickets today at Cardinals.com and make memories that go beyond the scoreboard. Busch Stadium, where great nights begin.
Need a lawyer? Onder wins. Call Onder Law at 314-9-million. That's 314-9 all zeros. Or go to onderwins.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
Retiring soon? Get the information you need by joining Kyle Jones and Matt Allgeier of Fira Capital Management for your retirement highway, Sunday mornings at 9:30. Investment advisory services made available through Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Securities made available through AE Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
104.1 FM KMOX, the voice of St. Louis. Stronger than ever.
Welcome back, DGS and KMOX. We just had our boss, Steve Moore, walk in and go, hey, I got a great topic for you. This guy just called and left a message, older guy, saying that he DoorDashes all the time and that DoorDash drivers have been bringing the bags, taking a picture of it, and then leaving with the bags and supposedly eating it. And we're like, we just talked about DoorDash like the whole segment. And he didn't know that. That was weird.
Oh, that is weird.
Yeah, he just came in to tell us, and we're like, we just finished talking about DoorDash, so... I don't see how that's such a big problem, though. I mean, I've had bad DoorDash drivers. I had DoorDash delivered by a baby, like an actual baby in a diaper who then threw up in my front yard for an hour. But, like, I've just complained, and then they've made it right. And I assume that bad things happen to the DoorDash driver.
You do see on Reddit a lot people posting to the DoorDash subreddit about their bad experiences. Dashers maybe trying to, a big one you see is Dashers asking for more of a tip. like saying like, hey, this is really far out of my way. It would be great if you could tip me more, which, as I understand, Andrew, you know what you're accepting. Like, you know how much you're going to get paid when you accept the order.
You know, you have a rough idea of what the tip is going to be when you accept the DoorDash
I can't take your computer.
I'm sorry.
I can't hear it. What's wrong with
It
me?
just keeps dinging.
I'm turning it. It stopped for a while, and now it's done it worse than ever.
How are you not insane just nonstop hearing that?
I stopped noticing it because it's every 5 seconds all day.
I'd be in there ready to snap.
No, you know what you're going to get. Like, for example, you know that taking McDonald's across town usually nets you about $2. And so if you see that it's going to be a $7 order, then you know you're probably going to get tipped about $5. You know, if it's a $2 order, you're probably not getting any tip at all. So when you accept it, you know what the tip is going to be. But I have seen a lot of people complaining about that same thing too. Or just like, hey, I'm almost out of gas. Can you give me, can you add $10 to the tip or whatever so I can get some gas?
I've never had that happen. And I've DoorDashed more than anyone I know.
Man.
Yeah, I don't think it happens that often because you got to think if it happens to anyone, they're going to post about it. And if, 500,000 DoorDashes every day and one person a month posts about it. So
it is really incredible that it goes so well most of the time.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like driving. When you stop to think about what's happening, it becomes a lot less safe and appealing feeling. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
So I'm ordering from this restaurant. A complete stranger is going to go pick up my food, bring it to me in their car, of which I have no idea what's going on in that car.
Yep.
They might be dropping off 2 or 3 orders before they even get to my house. Then they're leaving it on my doorstep.
Yeah.
It's just kind of incredible
it's
that
weird.
It works out most of the time.
My biggest complaint is when I get the bag and it smells straight up like weed.
Oh.
Like, you get to do what you want to do, but not in your car when you have my food with you. And I'm not a complainer, but I have complained about that.
And you don't know what's going on in those cars. I mean, there's no oversight on that at all. They don't even when you sign up, they don't even ask you if you have insurance, which I thought was very surprising. I thought for sure they'd ask at least if I had insurance.
All of these are the reasons why I don't DoorDash.
And then, of course, it is strange being like, and now this person knows where you live.
Yeah.
Although I will say I never really thought about that. I never considered knowing where I knew where any of those people
Trump,
were.
Sort of like Trump bragging about passing that Alzheimer's test.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I will say in my defense, I never stalked a person or thought about going back and killing them.
Yeah, I never considered stalking a person, but I guess it is something that, I don't know, someone might.
Well, have you ever told the story about the time the I don't think it was DoorDash. I think it was like Uber Eats or something. We just used DoorDash as the catch-all. And they kept calling me, and I was like, hey, I have no contact on there. Because I didn't want to interact with this person. I just wanted my food on my doorstep, which actually sounds pretty bad to say out loud. But
no, one of my saddest things is when I'm hiding from the DoorDasher.
Yeah. Well, and also, at the
just
time,
want my
I'm
servant
living
to keep
alone.
quiet.
I'm a young lady. I don't want to interact with,
Same
a
with me.
strange man. And they kept calling. They're like, you got to answer the phone. And then finally, I'm like, hello, it says no contact because you're scaring me now. You obviously just want to see me or something. And he was like, oh, no, there are some teenagers hanging out outside. I don't want them to steal your McDonald's.
No.
And sure enough, I got out there. There's some youths lurking around, and they probably would have stolen my fries. So
You know how
shout
youths
out to
are.
that guy.
Was it 2 Utes?
Yeah. No, one of the lowest moments in my life was I was skulking inside my door, waiting for the person to leave, and it was dark, and they took a picture, and then you could see me inside.
Like a ghost.
No.
Yes. And I had to look at my face like this.
That's really
I
good.
looked exactly like I was.
That's so great.
Just sad and reclusive.
I've said it before.
Just leave the Captain D's and go.
I've said it before. They know when you're in there. They know when you're
I know.
hiding behind the.
Oh, I know.
You can see the curtains move, and then when you turn around and get back in your car, and then
They
look at the
know
door,
I'm
it's already gone.
waiting for them to just make the move to get back in the car.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes I jump too soon, and they always turn around and look. Like they never are just cool and get in their car and go.
Well, yeah, they're hearing the sound of a door open behind them.
No, I'm treating them like they're not human beings. I get that. I get it. Not only did I hire a taxi to bring my burrito, but I don't want the person to look at me at all.
Yeah.
And
I get it.
And
I
then
wouldn't
when I open the door, then suddenly they're like, "Hey!" And I'm just like, "Oh well, Maurice."
Oh, it's you.
Oh my God.
Hello, let me
I
give you
have
an
had the
extra
same guy
tip.
several times.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, I've had hey, shout out to Michael. He's delivered to me probably 10 times.
Yeah.
You guys
Shout
are giving
out
me
to
an
Michael.
idea for those unwanted door-to-door salespeople. Just like linger behind the door and then creepily peek out, and then just do that 2 or 3 times and see if they leave.
That won't stop them.
No,
They're gonna be
Yeah,
like,
that one's
I
dumb.
have arrived at Boo Radley's house.
I can't believe there's still people stopping by to see if I need pest service.
Oh, I know. Every time I am not at work during the day, I get like 3 knocks on the door. I'm like, are people just knocking on my door all day when I'm not home?
Do you have a
It's
ring?
weird. No,
How do you know?
because when I'm there, there's knocking.
Oh,
So I figure it must be happening when I'm not there too, because they don't know that I'm home.
you're a strange man.
I am. I never stopped laughing though when I would drop off somebody's food and then like get in the car and do a 2-point turn and drive away, and I'd look over and the food would already be gone.
Oh yeah.
Like the door would open real fast
It's
and like a
one of
hand would
those
shoot
little-
out.
like a little funnel
Yeah.
web spider.
Yeah, I know. I laughed at it every time.
Have you guys ever seen your food end up on your neighbor's doorstep? Like, you're
Biggest
like,
fear.
that's
Yes.
the house next
And
door.
I've had to.
Biggest fear.
They have an inside porch. Like you have to open the screen door to go into the inside porch and then into their house. And they had left the food inside the screen porch.
Oh, that's messed
and
up.
I had to just sneak in and steal it and run back to my house as
Couldn't
fast
do
as
it.
I could.
When it comes to baseball in St. Louis, there's one station that's all in. KMOX. At noon, it's the Gas House Game.
Let's talk some baseball.
Smart, unfiltered conversation with real baseball minds. At 5, the Redbird Rush Hour delivers sharp insight, fresh takes, and the latest from inside the clubhouse.
Now the pitch.
And when it's game time, we bring you every single pitch, all season long. Others talk sports. We live Cardinals baseball. 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Not available in all states. Rates vary. Building a financial safety net for your family can be tough. But with term life insurance through Ethos, you can have peace of mind that they can pay the mortgage and other bills if something happens to you. With coverage in as little as 10 minutes, all online, Ethos finds your best rate across their multiple trusted carriers. Some policies as low as $1 a day billed monthly. And even in uncertain times, your term life insurance rates and payout don't change. Get your free quote at ethos.com/life. That's ethos.com/life.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
We started Neoviten because we wanted to create a multivitamin for ourselves. That's why we focus on quality ingredients and formulas with our multivitamins. Neoviten 50 Plus multivitamins are formulated with over 20 vitamins and minerals, along with our 4-ingredient physician-formulated proprietary blend for the highest quality daily nutritional support. Give Neoviten 50 Plus multivitamins a try for yourself. Find them at your local Schnucks, Deerbergs, and online at neoviten.com.
Dave Murray's weather forecast is sponsored by the Penn Mutual Life Insurance Company, pennmutual.com/STL.
There is another slow-moving front on the way. Partly sunny skies going through our Tuesday. Chance of a couple of spot showers, but a lot of dry time. Breezy in the 80s. The actual high may touch 90, 91 degrees. Tonight, lots of clouds around. Breezy, couple of showers, a few rumbles, 72. Wednesday, periods of showers, couple of thunderstorms, breezy and 80. And this unsettled pattern that's making a comeback is in place Wednesday night, Thursday, and again on Friday. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM. KMOX.
This is Michael Calhoun from the KMOX newsroom. This is not a severe weather threat for the St. Louis area, but do want to let you know about breaking news. There is a tornado, they believe, on the ground in the Kansas City area in the vicinity of the Truman Sports Complex. Again, National Weather Service indicating a tornado on the ground in the Kansas City area near the Royals and Chiefs stadiums. The Royals are in St. Louis for a series. We'll bring you the latest at the top of the hour.
Thank you, Michael. Are you considering life insurance? Penn Mutual's accelerated client experience makes applying for life insurance fast and easy. Ask your independent advisor or go to pennmutual.com/STL.
Since we have lawyers in all 50 states, I see and hear lots of lawyer ads.
It seems that most are bragging on what they got their clients. But be careful. If you heard that someone sold their car for $500,000, you would be impressed. But if you later learned that it was a rare $10 million Ferrari, would you say that person got screwed? And that's before you even know if it's true. Who is fact-checking? And how much went to medical bills and lawyers' fees? If you want to get an idea what your case may be really worth, visit forthepeople.com and go to Settlements and Verdicts. You will see what a law firm like ours is capable of. And fact-check for yourself. All that glitters is not gold. We became America's largest injury firm for a reason. We won big, a lot. At Morgan & Morgan, we represent consumers. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Are moles tearing up your yard? Don't let these lawn invaders turn your beautiful property into a mess. Rottler Pest Solutions offers professional mole control services to protect your lawn from damage. Visit Rottler.com today to schedule your free inspection.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/fax or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Not available in all states. Rates vary. Building a financial safety net for your family can be tough. But with term life insurance through Ethos, you can have peace of mind that they can pay the mortgage and other bills if something happens to you. With coverage in as little as 10 minutes, all online, Ethos finds your best rate across our multiple trusted carriers. Some policies as low as $1 a day billed monthly. And even in uncertain times, your term life insurance rates and payout don't change. Get your free quote at ethos.com/life. That's ethos.com/life.
Tonight, the Cards, the Royals.
Ameren Total Access 550.
Cardinals Radio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Our conversation with Ricky Horton is brought to you by Goodwill. Give hope, give local, give Goodwill.
Welcome back, guys. DGS 104.1 FM KMOX. Time to talk to our pal Ricky Horton. Hello, Rick.
Hey, Dave. Good afternoon.
Good to talk to you, buddy. I will see you tonight in the booth. I'm bringing my kids to the game, and Ben's going to run me up there, so we'll get to hug it out.
Oh, awesome. You'll hang out, and we'll, as you know, it's the best seat in the house. We brag about that a little bit, but we do, traveling around, our booth is as good as anybody's. We're very lucky.
It really is. It is just sweet up there. If you ever get a chance to do a booth visit or, if you're at a charity event, I always do a couple of these a year, and someone offers one, do it because there's just nothing like it. It's really super cool. Rick, just before you were on, I was thinking what I wanted to talk to you about. I'm going to turn it over to Wheeler here for the real baseball stuff, but as a fan, let me just say this. I am very thankful and very appreciative that this year is going the way that it's going. We could be 10 games under 500 right now. And my non-expert opinion is that we were a much better team last year than we seemed, that we played below our talent. This year we're playing up to it, maybe even a little bit better, and that's the big difference.
Yeah, I think that's true. I would say one thing I would qualify is last year's team actually finished better than kind of we remember. They finished 6 games over 500. They were in second place in the Central Division. So I think our memory is kind of commingled with the year prior, which was terrible. Great. I mean, there's no other way to say that. So I think last year was a stepping stone towards this year, and this year has kind of continued in that direction. And, of course, the real test is going to be when we start playing the Brewers and the Cubs on a regular basis. I'm a little tired of interleague play, frankly, but I do think that this team is living up to their potential, yes, and let's just hope there's more in the tank.
You know what? I don't like those Brewers. I don't have a good feeling.
Now they've won 8 in a row, Dave.
Hey, something tells me the feeling's mutual.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they don't love us either.
No. In fact, I would say that in all of the NL Central cities, the biggest villain is St. Louis.
Yeah, well, it's true, and I think there's some of it is when you're around longer, you have history. I mean, who does everybody not like in football? The Dallas Cowboys, right? And who does everybody not like in the American League? The New York Yankees. Well, you win a lot of pennants, and then people don't like you, and you have moments in the team history that go back, and of course, our moments with the team we're playing now, Kansas City, ended up not in our favor in the World Series in '85, as most of us remember. But obviously a lot of scuffles in the past with the Cincinnati Reds, a lot of tempers with Milwaukee, and of course the Cubs, goes without saying.
Yeah, I know you go back 25 years, right? All of those teams in the division have had their little windows and runs, but the one constant through most of that time has been the Cardinals, which is why they all look at the Cardinals as the team they need to beat.
Yeah. And add to that, we'll think about this. All the years, in my years, we weren't in the Central Division. We were in the East Division. Right. So they're teams that still may not like us, including the Mets, for that reason. And I mean, so it's kind of like, hey, they passed us around a little bit. I guess familiarity breeds contempt.
Are you looking forward to seeing this new big kid they got for the Royals tonight?
Yeah, I am. In fact, the Royals are a good team. The Royals are a really good team. They kind of underperformed when we were in Kansas City, but actually the guy I really like watching is Bobby Witt Jr. I mean,
man.
He's the real deal. He does everything well, and I think Mason Wynn does everything well too. I mean, I think Mason's actually has more range and better hands and better arm, but Bobby Witt's a player. There's no question he's a player.
I mean, you could argue, if you wanted to be really detailed, that he's the best position player in the sport because of all the other guys that can hit like him. None can play shortstop.
Yeah, and so he's kind of an American League star shortstop. And as I think about what that means, I think of Jeter and Cal Ripken and A-Rod, so many other guys that have kind of been the big version shortstop that can hit with power. And, even going back to, Alan Trammell, that's going way back as a Hall of Famer. But, the National League style shortstop is Ozzie Smith to me. And Mason Wynn's kind of more in that vein.
And I don't know if you've seen a lot, Ricky, of Jack Caglione, but this time last year was playing for the Florida Gators, going to the College World Series and breaking college home run records. And here we are a year later. He's the number 10 prospect in all of baseball. He's one of those guys that probably is going to be a little all or nothing at first, right? He's got the same kind of bat speed and power as guys like Ohtani and Judge. The question will be, can you make consistent enough contact?
Well, and as a top pick, I mean, they're already trying to figure out what's the best way to work on. I mean, there's video out there on everybody. They're going to try to exploit it, and I'm sure the Cardinals have all the info that they can possibly muster to figure out what their best bet is. But sometimes it takes a while to figure out how to get a guy out too, and that's different from different pitchers. That's the other great thing about baseball is how Andre Palante may get a guy out is very different than Matthew Liberatore, is different than Sonny Gray. So you've got to kind of get your own book on a guy. So it'll be a feeling out period for sure.
Can we go back a couple steps? When I was a kid, I knew that there was a difference between the National League and the American League. I knew most of the National League teams better because I was a Cardinals fan and we pretty much just played them. And the American League was always mysterious to me. They're just like this unknown thing. Are there real differences between the way the leagues play? Not the rules, obviously, but just is there a National League way of playing and an American League way of playing?
I would say not anymore. There used to be, but when we say National League, American League, it's really a throwback to those. It's interesting. You say 2 steps back to when you were a kid. I got to go more steps than that, Dave. I can't imagine that just being 2 steps back. That's like 10 steps back for me. But yes, the American League used to be. We would call it the beer softball league, where nobody bunted, nobody stole bases. The National League was the show, which is what everybody called it, even American League people. The National League was more action, more interesting, more fun. American League was more like home run derby, and then it kind of morphed because the rules changed. The DH is now universal. Umpires used to call different strike zones in the National League and the American League, but not anymore.
Yeah, and from an aesthetic standpoint, that displeases a lot of people. From a rational standpoint, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Right? Like, from a rational standpoint, you're selling a product. You want that product to be consistent. You want McDonald's to be McDonald's in New York and be McDonald's in Miami. You don't want it to be a little bit different.
However, there's a thing in marketing we all know about product differentiation. So you go to the supermarket and you say, "Hey, do you want to buy the blue one or the red one?" So now you've got two choices, and now you force a person into thinking, which do I prefer, the blue one or the red one? And that's the buy-in, right? That's what they teach you when you're selling candy to somebody's house, as a Boy Scout. Which one do you want? And now you've got this product differentiation, same company, that you give the person a choice. And I think that created some interest, even though I think you're right. I think the game now is the same game. But, we would always find that out during the World Series. That's what makes the World Series so appealing.
Yeah.
What will the Yankees do against the Atlanta Braves? This is crazy. This is going to be really fun. Now it's ho-hum. They already played them this year.
I mean, one of my all-time favorite World Series is one of my favorites because of this. It's Whitey Ball against Harvey's Wallbangers. That was just an amazing difference.
So I was in college at that time, and that was right. That was league against league. It's style against style. It's, it's just so different. And also added to that particular series is the fact that the two teams made trades to make each other better.
Right.
Now teams are really – now you're I think that's another thing that has made trade so hard is you're kind of leery of trading somebody that you're going to play in a month and they're going to beat you. And that's, we've seen that happen before.
Yeah, it's an interesting time, and I still think there's some settling in that needs to happen too. I mean, when we think about the long history of baseball, it was the way we're talking about for more than 100 years. And really it's only been this way for 10 years? Where it's like regular interleague play, not just the fluky interleague play where you do it once or twice a year for a couple weekends here and there, but like full-on interleague play and DH in both leagues. Like that really is more of a 5 to 10 year window. So it's going to take time to kind of settle in and be what people are used to.
Yeah, I think managing change is part of that, and I think that's very true. I do think that the current way we're doing it has some real problems to it, and I think they're going to have to address that in terms of travel and playing a team only once. So that means you got to get the game in because there's no other off day.
Yep.
And there's a lot of – the Cardinals played 2 games in a driving rainstorm in Baltimore because they weren't going back there. I don't know if that's really the fairness that everybody's looking for.
And, it's such a duh thing to say that June's going to be important. June's always important. But wow, is June important for us this year?
Well, the June happens to rhyme with the word swoon, so we've used that in baseball for years. I mean, who's going to have the June swoon? Who's going to just kind of fall apart? Now, it's kind of like it's the team equivalent of second or third time through a lineup. It's like, okay, now what happens after you've kind of find out who you really are, or deal with some injuries, or deal with some adversity, you kind of and deal with some fatigue, frankly, going into the All-Star break. So June's really important. I think it's important for the Cardinals to just kind of keep going and avoid, the baseball phrase, avoid distractions. I think they've done a great job of doing that, of avoiding kind of thinking too far ahead. I think the season was depressurized because of the expectations. I think you keep it that way and you figure out where you are when you get to September.
Ricky, we had Ollie today as part of the Gas House Gang, and one of the things that came up was, again, getting back to the 6-man rotation for a little bit here because, as you well know, because you're preparing your own schedule, it's 32 games in the next 34 days. So it's a lot of baseball in a very compact time, and it sounds like Michael McGreevy is that guy and not Steven Matz, which makes sense to me, even though it's not fair to Matz. But Matz is so valuable in the role that he is right now, that he's in right now, it makes sense that these are the opportunities to evaluate McGreevy.
Yeah, and what's not fair to Matz may be fairest to the team winning, and which is what you have to deal with. And and it's not fair to McGreevy that he's whatever he is 7-1 in AAA, and he just kind of deserves to be here too. So I still like to think of it as a 5-man rotation with spot starters.
Yes.
That's my version of it.
Yep.
I know that's what we say, and that's how Ollie refers to it, 6-man, but I think that's really what it is.
I agree with you.
All right, Rick, see you later tonight.
All right, guys. See ya.
Do you know that by donating your gently used items to Goodwill, you're not only giving those items a new life, but you're helping people right here in your community enrich their lives with meaningful work? Your donations support Goodwill's mission of helping people with barriers to employment to be able to get rewarding jobs which provide not only a paycheck, but a very important sense of purpose. Your donations really do change lives. Give hope, give local, give goodwill.
Cardinals fans, join the conversation at Busch Stadium with some of your favorite former Cardinals. With the Cardinals Conversations presented by Edward Jones, you'll hear from former Cardinals such as Ozzie Smith, Ted Simmons, Ray Langford, David Eckstein, or David Freese. Each conversation hosted by Cardinals announcers Chip Carey or Brad Thompson. Your experience also will include a ticket to the game, a pre-signed photo, and the opportunity to take your photo with the featured player. Get your tickets today at cardinals.com/conversations.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Drury Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Drury Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Drury Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Spring is here. Time to have your valuable trees inspected by Gamma Tree to enhance the beauty and safety of your trees. I'm Tim Gamma.
I'm Tom Gamma. Don't trust your trees to just anyone. Call the pros at Gamma Tree, now in our 71st year.
Our talented staff of certified arborists can survey your trees to determine their needs, whether pruning, fertilizing, pest control, or removals at the highest level of professionalism.
Knowledge and quality are hallmarks of our reputation. Call Gamma Tree today or visit us at gammatree.com.
Your trees deserve the best care.
This is Megan Lynch. 250 doctors go to Ophthalmology Associates. That's why I trust them. Ophthalmology Associates, 314-966-5000 or youridoc.com.
At California Psychics, we know some people can't read the career warning signs, like your boss still not knowing your name.
You, Tina, Lisa, Sheila, whatever. Get that report to me by lunch, okay? It's Carrie, ma'am. Just get it done, Terry.
So talk to California Psychics and receive the career guidance you need. We only connect you with the very best, so guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. California Psychics. Call 1-800-PREDICT today and get 20 minutes for just $20.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/fax or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Welcome back, DGS on KMOX. Weird things going on in the suicide pod business. You remember the suicide pod from about a year ago, the one in Sweden or Switzerland? And they, the first lady used it, and then they found evidence that she had been strangled to death. And the theory was that it didn't work, and so the guy that invented it strangled her to death and then said she died very peacefully. So this guy was arrested and spent time in prison and was facing murder charges, and then he just took his own life. Yeah. Weird.
That's pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That whole thing, every part of that is crazy.
Yes.
That sounds like a crime documentary.
Yes.
A true crime series, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
I bet it will be.
Mm-hmm. So weird. China's weird. China's just weird.
Okay.
You can pay $5 to go to an office and pretend you have a job. For people who are between jobs, but they're ashamed, so they pay $5 a day to go to an office where there are fake bosses and fake assignments, where your fake boss will actually berate you for not getting your fake assignment in. And so you can tell your friends you're going to a job and you don't have as much shame because you don't have one.
I get the idea of having a place to go, but how are your friends going to know if you're getting chewed out or not?
Yeah.
Yeah,
guess
that's
they
the
just
part that I don't
making
get.
it realistic for the people.
I guess.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm paying you to go to the office, I don't need a boss there because I don't work there.
I know what's real.
And I don't know if Megan would agree with this or not, working in the pet care industry, but they say owning a cat or dog now costs at least $20,000 from beginning to end. And I know I just had some friends. I'm big into bulldogs, and she is a vet, and she goes, "You want to spend $20,000, buy a bulldog." Like, because they're just so unhealthy and so many things. And
I mean, it all really just comes down to whether or not they get sick.
I mean,
some of them don't.
I'm $5,000 into Moses.
Yeah.
For 2 socks.
Are we just talking about medical or food and everything?
I think it's everything.
Okay.
I think it's everything.
It sounds about right when they live as long as they do.
Mm-hmm.
Or, like normal. Depends on your dog. Like, we have little guys, so they're already 14, 15, and they're doing fine. But bigger ones are going to live shorter lives, but eat more
But you
and
know
consume
what?
more.
Let's say it's $20,000.
Yeah. Worth it.
Worth it.
100%.
When we were there having Augie put down, if someone said, you can have $20,000 back, but you missed all that, no.
Nope. Keep it.
Especially with kids.
I had seen an article in the past couple of months about private equity firms buying up veterinary clinics, and that's another reason why you see vet bills getting higher.
Oh, interesting.
A lot of times you'll go to a place thinking like, this is little mom and pop vet, and it's not. It's owned by a huge corporation, and
Most
they
of
have
them are.
certain- Yeah.
Corporations have completely taken over the veterinary practice world. There's very few completely independent practices nowadays.
Yeah.
They're almost all corporate owned at this point.
Thought you turned your computer down.
I had to turn it back up to do work.
It is good business. I mean, if you think about the things that grown-up people care about the most, it's their kids and their pets.
I feel sorry for people who get in there and find out that something's wrong with their pet and it's going to be $5,000. And maybe they have it, but they don't have it to spend on a pet. I mean, that's a tough situation.
Very.
You know?
That's fair. And you'll see, I don't know if you follow it, Dave, but there's a dog rates account. A lot of times they'll do GoFundMes for stories, and people send them a story of it. People can't afford to, deal with this. If they can't afford to cover it, or if there's a rescue operation that can't afford the surgery for a dog, people will just chip in.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's tough.
Brian says spend $5,000 on our dog CCL surgery. What is BBL? Give him a Brazilian butt lift.
My dog's ass wasn't fat enough.
Yeah, we've actually, with one of our dogs, we almost had to do the knee surgery when he was 3. But then we was but it's not just the expense, but also it can lead to further problems, and so we avoided it by making helping him lose weight so he would be at a better weight, and he's been fine. Yeah, he's 14 now and he's doing all right, but that's always a tough decision. Do we spend this, and then what does that mean? Does it mean that it's better and fixed, or does it mean, well, it could still be a problem or something else?
Isn't it weird that our dogs get fat? Because everything they eat comes from us.
Yeah.
And I've always wondered, am I feeding the dog so I don't feed myself? Am I feeding the dog out of some sort of referred enjoyment? Because I feed the dog.
More than twice a day?
Oh, yeah. Like cheeseburgers and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just because they like it and that makes you happy because they're happy. That's why most people do those things.
One of my big things is feeding the dogs off of my fork.
Oh.
Oh, don't do that.
Bad habit for them to learn because then they beg.
Yeah, I don't mind the begging.
Well, no, but if you have other people, then they do it to them too. It's funny because we obviously we've had some dogs will not eat themselves fat. Some breeds will just not. They will stop eating once they're good.
Eat themselves fat? I've never heard that phrase.
We have a dog. We had a dog originally. Our first dog was an American Eskimo. Never would get fat. Would never eat unless she's just hungry. And I've had other dogs that they will not stop eating until they puke. Till they'll eat themselves sick. And you got to be careful with them.
You had a solid retirement dream, sell your home in a few years, bank the equity, downsize, and travel. But with an unpredictable economy and the future feeling uncertain, you're wondering if that equity will still be there when you're ready. What if you could bank that equity right now? With Truehold, you can sell your home for its current value so you can access your equity today. You can bank the cash now and stay in the home you love with an easy standard lease. Truehold even covers property taxes, insurance, and repairs. And since Truehold hands over your equity in cash now, it's yours to do whatever you like. Don't let a shifting economy put your hard-earned equity at risk. Visit Truehold.com and receive their competitive offer on your home in just 48 hours, based on its best current value, not what's coming. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. That's Truehold.com.
Connected TV is one of the most effective channels for driving measurable advertising results. That's because when your customer's not scrolling, they're streaming. Let Viant put your ads right where they are, on the best content, across the most premium platforms in the world. We're talking real consumers, big screens, big outcomes. With Viant, you get people-based targeting, AI-powered performance, and full access to inventory built to seize eyeballs, not clickbait. Viant, where premium streaming meets performance. Visit Viant.ai to unlock real results today.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Dr. Corey Solman, orthopedic surgeon, Midwest Orthopedic and Spine Specialist. He is one of the finest surgeons in the country. If you don't believe just me, just Google him. It's Dr. Corey Solman, Solman. On the WebMDs and the Rate Your Doc and all those sorts of websites, you'll see that he has virtually perfect scores because he is not only a fantastic surgeon, he has the knowledge, he has the experience, he has the physical dexterity. He is a cutting edge, no pun intended, on all of the most recent. He has an anterior approach to like hip replacements where it's a smaller incision, it's less blood loss, it's less time on the table, which means less rehab for you, less time being down. And he's a really nice guy, very interesting, very funny, just a good, affable, charming human being who's going to make you, your kids, and your elderly loved ones feel comfortable with whatever procedure needs to happen. So you have an injury, you have something chronic, 636-231-5881 or SolmanOrthopedics.com.
One of the best ways to find out about 3-Day Kitchen and Bath is actually to hear the results for yourself. On the phone with us is Wendy in Darwin. Wendy, you got a brand new bathroom.
I do, and it's beautiful.
Are you loving it?
I am absolutely loving it.
Okay, tell me about your bathroom.
It went from a dark room that felt like an absolute cave when I walked into it to a bright, airy, opened the space up. I mean, I don't know what else. It's just absolutely wonderful.
She's almost speechless. So, Darwin, tell me about all the man stuff. How did it work? The quality, the convenience, how did they do?
Excellent. We contacted 3-Day Bath, and they got back to us the next day. The communication was excellent. They were on time in all their promises, and it's beautiful. It's a great bathroom.
Would you do it again?
Oh, absolutely.
For more about your new kitchen or bath, visit 3daykitchen.com.
3-Day Kitchen and Bath. Mid-America's most trusted voice for news. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
At 3 o'clock, this news update is sponsored by the St. Louis Aquarium at Union Station. We've got windy conditions and 85 downtown at the Arch. A dangerous condition to the west in Kansas City. Tornado warnings for Clay and Jackson County.
This is now a confirmed tornado.
KMBC, Kansas City, Chief Meteorologist Brian Busby.
It looks like we've changed scout cameras. Is that still at the stadium? Okay, so this is I-70 in Blue Ridge. Okay, so it's a slightly different vantage point. And now you can certainly tell that the visibilities are coming down a little bit. You're also noticing that not only do you have the torrential rainfall, but the problem is it's still part of that portion of the line that has had the signature that's shown up and has really, once again, tightened up quite a bit.
That path has taken this potential tornado past the Truman Sports Complex. The damage includes a tractor trailer blown on its side across Highway 635 there. Dave Murray's local forecast is coming up.
These past 10 days, 11 days have been
exhausting.
State Senator Carla May before the Missouri Senate Appropriations Committee voted unanimously to move ahead with the first bout of tornado relief. $25 million will be transferred to the Missouri Housing Trust Fund if it makes it through the special session. St. Louis Mayoral Policy Director Casey Milberg.
There's also safety aspects with this. I mean, we have a lot of buildings that are damaged that we just don't know if they could collapse, cause further damage in the event that we get another storm. So we're trying to move as quickly as we can to assess that situation, to keep neighborhoods safe.
Milberg says FEMA's told the city the damage on the north side is the worst the agency has seen since the 2011 Joplin tornado. A change at the top at the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of Missouri.
U.S. Attorney Saylor Fleming has resigned her post. No reason was given for the resignation, but in a statement, Fleming said it's been a privilege to serve and that the hardworking staff are the best in the country. Fleming will be replaced, at least temporarily, by Matthew Drake, who has been serving as first assistant U.S. attorney. Under her leadership, the office says it led the nation in gun prosecutions, including cases involving carjackings, armed robberies, and murders. She allowed the U.S. attorneys to prosecute murder cases in St. Louis and assist the circuit attorney's office. No word on future plans. Her permanent replacement would need Senate approval. Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
More people are going back to a workplace they've left behind. They're called boomerang workers. But Patrice Williams-Lindo, CEO of Career Nomad, tells KMOX you have to return with some leverage.
Coming back like it was 2019, right? And we're in a 2025. Same title, same pay, same drama. No, they should renegotiate. They should talk about how they've grown, what additional experience they have, and your return should reflect that.
She says employers need to ask what has changed for that employee and whether they can add new value to the organization. Ron Kraszewski, the CEO of St. Louis-based Stifel Financial, says don't worry about your money.
The economy is fine. We have to get through this tumultuous time.
Kraszewski tells CNBC the key is getting past the tariffs, which he admits might not happen quickly if the president reacts poorly to social media.
People pointed out that taco trade, Trump always chickens out. If anything, that'll embolden the president that he won't chicken out next time.
He says other potential positives for the economy include tax cuts and a push toward deregulation. Let's get an update of the St. Louis Business Index now from Stifel Senior Vice President for Investments, Scott Link.
Good afternoon, Michael. A strong earnings season and optimism that President Trump's trade policies will not tip the economy into a recession led markets higher today, with the Dow Jones rising 214 points to 42,519. The S&P 500 was up 34 to 5,970. The Nasdaq was up 156 to 19,398, and the Bloomberg St. Louis Index finished up 13 points to 1,556. For stocks of local interest, the biggest gainers today were Belden up $3.73 to 108.37, and Edgewell Personal Care rose 68 cents to $26.52, and the leading decliners were Bear off 12 cents to $7.12, and Charter Communications lost $3.98 to $390.80. Finally, Stifel Financial was up 98 cents to $94.08. This has been Scott Link, Senior Vice President of Investments at Stifel, member SIPC, New York Stock Exchange. For more information on Stifel, please visit our website at stifel.com.
Partly sunny skies, breezy, just a chance of a spot shower in the 80s to near 90, 91. We may barely touch that, but think mainly in the 80s. Also, the upper atmosphere getting less and less smoke with a front trying to move in. Tonight, lots of clouds, breezy, couple of showers, a few rumbles, 72. Wednesday, periods of showers, couple of spot thunderstorms, breezy, and 80. Keep that going Wednesday night, Thursday, and into Friday. This is not a widespread severe weather outbreak for us, but there will be a couple of thunderstorms around. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Sponsored by Siding Express and SidingExpress.com. Transform your home with the beauty and durability of James Hardie Siding. At Siding Express, they specialize in James Hardie Siding installation. Visit SidingExpress.com today to schedule a free consultation. That's SidingExpress.com. We've got 85 degrees at the moment downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
Welcome back, guys. DGS 1041 FM KMOX. We have the think tank coming up 1 hour from now. Jeff Rainford, who kind of ran the city back during the Francis Slay years, and Kurt Barr, who is the head of elections in St. Charles County. Two good guys, always have good conversations. So the reason we age is because our cells die and then replace themselves. And when you're young, it happens so easily and so frequently that you just ripen and ripen and ripen. And then one day you stop and you begin to rot. And there are these parts of our bodies on the cellular level that are shaped sort of like a horseshoe. And the end of them is called like a telomere or something. And you can tell basically someone's age and how they're aging by how long that is. It's sort of like a rubber end on a stick. And the shorter they get, the older you are. And when your cells die, they don't replace. And that's why people look old. You haven't seen someone in 10 years like, oh, my God, they really changed. Well, yeah, because they didn't replace their cells. So scientists announced today that they have paused cell death.
Whoa.
And so that could lead to stopping aging. It could lead to stopping cancer in its tracks, because that's what cancer is when cells kind of go rogue and they start developing. That's what skin cancer is, and tumors. So that's really big news.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not perfected, obviously, but they say they have successfully paused cell death.
Very exciting.
Mm-hmm.
That seems pretty magical.
It's funny you're talking about aging like this, because I keep seeing studies and articles about the fact that you start aging rapidly at several ages in life. Like you kind of hit a wall and it's like, okay, the change is going to happen now. The first one that comes up is 34, which I'm turning next month. The other one, Dave, is 60. So we're both in the
yeah,
that
I saw
awkward
that.
phase.
I saw that.
Welp.
Yeah.
The goal is to hit them, though, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So if you could pause at an age or even de-age, Rach, would you let yourself get 5 or 10 years older and say, I'm going to see what 42 feels like for the rest of my life?
No, because I already feel differences from my 20s, like pretty hard on certain things. So I would like to go back. I wouldn't go back to like 21 or something, but maybe like 27, 28. Yeah, I'm like, all right, you can pause it quick, because like I just do notice differences. But I will say I like getting older. Like I've learned to embrace it. I think I had like kind of a panicky period there where I was just like, oh, this is really happening, huh? Like you kind of just think it's not going to happen to you, and then it does. But then you realize, like, it is, like Wheels just implied, it is a privilege to get older, and I have better like mental I'm stronger mentally than I was 10 years ago, so that's exciting.
And if my life is any indication of it, that's how life is I'm in disbelief that it's happening. I'm in disbelief that I'm 60. I'm in disbelief that my kids are the age that they are. And I think that's probably just how it goes.
Yep.
And then one day you're sitting in a doctor's office and they're saying cancer, and you're in disbelief about that. And one day your mom's in hospice and you're in disbelief. Like a lot of life is just coming to terms with things you never thought would happen, even though you knew proof positive that they would.
Yeah. You know, like on a logical level, but it doesn't change the fact that you hadn't done it before.
Yeah.
Which means when it does happen, you're like, oh, all right. Well, this is this.
I know I'm going to die.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like I'm going to die.
No.
It's just a concept.
Yes.
Like watching a movie.
That's a great way to put it. It's a concept versus a reality.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really good. I like that.
And I wonder if there's something in your brain that protects you from that. Otherwise, you might just spend your whole life just fixated on it. If you really could get in that space of you are going to be no more, you might just never get out of it. So, Stairway to Kevin?
Sure. I got a couple different things we can go to. Let's... I want to get to this one that's, it's not super, super serious, but I thought it was interesting. So with all of the buzz around what's going on at Harvard and, you know, the president and the administration pressuring them, and then they're fighting back. With all of that happening, it's all set in a landscape, right, where a lot of what's happened on college campuses over time has been political, right? We can go back to the 60s. But a lot of that wasn't, my understanding, was not directed by or influenced by the administration. But it does feel like for a period of time where administrations have felt like they kind of have to take a political stance on various things, right? We have to express our stance on this thing. And I thought it was interesting that Brown University is now adopting what they're calling institutional neutrality. So they are only going to speak to issues that relate to their mission as a university. Mm-hmm. They are not going to take a stand on Gaza. They're not going to take a stand on the presidency. They're not going to take a stand on Me Too or whatever. Like, it's only going to be on things that are a part of their institutional mission as a university. And it's a little controversial. There are a lot of people that don't like it. I think there are others that do. I was curious what you guys think about it, because I went to college in a time where my college did not take stands on anything.
Would have never considered it.
Did not take stands on anything. It wasn't required. It wasn't asked of them. But it wasn't a thing. And I feel like I prefer that, because on every college campus, you have students of all backgrounds, political backgrounds, religious backgrounds. You have a lot of everything.
Yeah.
Why should you have to take a stance that favors one group of people over another, regardless of whether it is quote unquote right or not? I'm not sure that there is, in a political sense, a good way to make everyone because your job is to educate everyone. Your job is to set up every student on your campus for future success. That's the mission of a university, or should be.
Yeah.
Do you guys like this idea of, you know what, when it's not something that is under our purview, we're just not taking a stand, and we're not going to issue statements about it?
I think it's too late. I think the horse is out of the barn. Genie's out of the bottle. But if I could put that genie back in the bottle, I would. If I could go back to 1984 politics, I would in a heartbeat, without hesitation. You know how they'll say, like, yeah, but if you went back, then you have this to contend with. Yeah, but on this one, 100%. There was a time when no one knew anyone's politics,
right,
unless someone was a politician. Right. And even then, you didn't know in deep, intimate ways. You just knew they had a D or an R, and, you voted one way or the other, largely based in my neighborhood on whether you were a union worker or not. Union workers voted Democrat, management voted Republican. That's just the way it was. I would go back to that, because I think that's been a terrible thing for us. I think that we're learning so much. I think that my generation, more than any other, and not getting into like the Industrial Revolution or the Renaissance or things like that, or AI, but just learning. I feel like my generation, we have learned a ton about what works and what doesn't. And we somehow got over our skis on politics. And I was talking to someone the other day, and we were meeting a new person. And one of the first things that the person I was with said is, what is their politics? And I thought, what a strange question. We would have never even considered, like, going to a ball game. We're going to a ball game. And the person wanted to know who the person we were meeting, what their politics was. And I got it. I understand it. Are they aggressive? Are they MAGA? Are they this? But I really, of all the things I yearn for from those days, that's the most.
I get what you're saying, and I don't personally look to any institution to tell me like how I should think or feel or how I should align myself. But I understand why institutions feel the need to take a stand on certain things. Like, just for an example, the Facebook comments that we got yesterday kind of helped educate me as like a person who's not in a marginalized group in any way. It's like, yeah, I mean, this is why we have pride, is for like to stand up and say like, yeah, this is fine. Like, this is just who I am. All I'm doing is being myself. Other people have a problem with that. The hatred and the vitriol that we received just for platforming this yesterday was, to me, like kind of a good reminder of like why it exists in the first place. So I get like a college, yeah, they probably shouldn't lean Democrat or Republican if you're going to invite both of those groups of people into your college. But other institutions, like, I see why they want to take stands and be like, hey, just so you know, like, we're not for racism, for example. Like, what's the harm in that? Like, why is it bad to say that you're against racism? I think that people are always going to complain no matter what you do. So you might as well lead with, hey, just so you know, the bad stuff, like, we don't like that. We like to include everyone.
You know, so much of life is just F around and find out. I mean, the Bible could have been reduced to that. And I think that the universities are finding out. For decades, whoever thought about really going against Harvard? No one. It was just Harvard. They're better than you. They know, it costs a lot of money to go there. They're going to be rich when they get out. But Harvard was just Harvard. The way that the Cardinals are Cardinals, and you know what I mean? It was just an is. And then Trump went after him and have him down and holding him down with his knees and doing that spit thing. And they effed around and found out. I'm not saying that they were wrong.
Well, they may still win.
They could. Well, I think they probably will win in the courts, but they have been chastened. I mean, I think that they have probably learned their lesson about messing around with the chief executive.
And you brought up the Trump thing. To me, that kind of made something click for me when it comes to Brown University. I highly doubt that Brown looked around and said, you know what, we've decided we just need to be more neutral because that's the right thing to do.
It's to avoid this.
Exactly.
Yes.
They want to avoid consequences.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, whenever that's what a lot of, these corporations are getting under my skin when it comes to something like Pride Month. Like, oh, yeah, we're going to promote that when it's popular. But then when the Republicans get back in control, we don't do the rainbow flag during the month of June anymore. It's like, okay, so you're literally just flip-flopping to appease whoever's in power. That's pretty gross to me.
Yeah, that's exactly why Brown's doing it, right? I mean, that's exactly why it's doing. But in the end, might that not be a better policy so you don't get the back and forth? And now with businesses, that's their bottom line. They're going to go based on what it means for their profit, right? I mean, whether it's AB or McDonald's or anybody else, over time, that's ultimately going to be what drives what they do. With schools, again, you are educating on every one of these campuses. You've got, now I'm not talking about basic human rights stuff, right? All of these schools have policies directly related towards racism, sexism, things that are not, behaviors that are not acceptable on campus. So you have those structures in place. This is about when a new thing pops up, having to take a stand on it. Yeah. Like, should a college have a stand on an international incident, on an international political issue? I don't know. I think it's a fair question to ask. Do they have to take a position on all of them?
So McDonald's is a sponsor for Pride Fest. Chick-fil-A is solidly against gay marriage.
Right.
Do you think McDonald's is braver than Chick-fil-A? Are they the same level of brave for taking a stand?
I think they're similar in that they both have a stance that works for them. Right? I mean, put it this way. I think if McDonald's thought it was going to be a major threat to their brand, they'd change.
I agree with that.
I think Chick-fil-A would too.
I'm not sure. Maybe.
I think Chick-fil-A is intentionally going for a certain type of audience who's going to connect. I mean, there are plenty of people who still go to Chick-fil-A who support gay rights, but like Chick-fil-A is doing the same thing McDonald's is doing. If you think McDonald's is like pandering in some way by doing Pride Month, like Chick-fil-A is no one needed to know that you don't support gay marriage. No one needed to know that. Like, why did you say that in the first place? Oh, because you are pandering to your audience.
Well, nobody likes pandering unless somebody's pandering to them. Right? Everybody hates it unless you're the one being pandered to, which is kind of that dynamic alone is what drives me crazy. Pandering's either not okay or it is. And if you're okay with people that you agree with pandering to you or people that think like you, then you should be okay with the other, and you can still disagree on the issue at hand.
I love to be pandered to.
Yeah, everybody does.
It's pretty nice.
It's a good feeling.
The only one that does this is Andrew.
He panders to you.
But I appreciate it. Here comes Andrew. It's going to be a good day.
Yeah.
Let me tell you guys about Dr. Kathy Maupin and BioBalance Health. You could probably do this live endorsement instead of me because you've heard it so many times. And something is keeping you from calling. Maybe it's that you're too young. Maybe it's that you feel like $1 million every single day. It wouldn't change a thing. But if you're not too young And if you don't feel like $1 million every single day, learn what Kevin and I have both learned in different ways, different companies, but both learned that we had low testosterone, that it was affecting our lives, and that our lives are better for a pretty simple fix. For me, I go in twice a year and get these testosterone pellets. The whole thing takes literally 10 minutes from the time Caroline says, okay, let's go, until I'm walking out of there with a little Band-Aid on my back, or my backside, and I get a testosterone shot because that bridges that time.
I'm Emma Greed, and I've spent the last 20 years building, running, and investing in some incredible businesses. The more success I've had, the more people started coming to me with questions. How do you start a business? How do you raise money? How do I bounce back from failure? On my new podcast, Aspire with Emma Greed, I'll be answering these questions and more through weekly conversations with the smartest minds out there. Listen to and follow Aspire with Emma Greed, an Odyssey podcast, available now, wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, it's Matt, your leaf filter trusted pro. Gutters are an often neglected part of the home. They're also one of the most important. Clogged, overflowing gutters can cause serious problems like foundation damage or basement flooding, which can cost thousands of dollars to fix. Let's face it, cleaning gutters yourself is not only a hassle, it can be dangerous. But when you get Leaf Filter, you'll never have to worry about cleaning clogged gutters again. Get started today by visiting leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free inspection. If you decide to move forward, we'll professionally clean, realign, and seal your gutters before installing our patented stainless steel micro mesh system. Leaf Filter keeps out everything but the water. And it's backed by a lifetime transferable no clogs warranty. So you're protected for good. We're in your neighborhood and ready to help. Visit Leaf Filter today for a free inspection and estimate, and you could save up to 30%. Visit leaffilter.com/deal. That's leaffilter.com/deal.
Hey, it's Matt Pauley telling you about i3 Broadband. You've heard me talk about them. They provide the internet in my home. I love them so much. The reliability is great. Let's talk about price for a moment, though. They've got an introductory rate at $19.99 a month for one of their service options. No bundle ever required. You're going to save $10 a month over the cable company. They've got great pricing on all of their different packages, going up to 8 gigs upload and download speed, always mirrored. See if they're available in your neighborhood. Put your address in at i3broadband.com.
Mizzou football is here to stay. After an undefeated home season and a second straight 10-win year, the Tigers are looking for more in 2025.
Eli and the boys have done it again.
With a top 10 transfer portal class and a strong home schedule highlighted by Kansas, Alabama, South Carolina, and Texas A&M, you don't want to miss out. Get your spot in line by joining the season ticket wait list at mutigers.com/FB waitlist. MIZ.
Don't let mosquitoes ruin your time outdoors. At Rottler Pest Solutions, our mosquito control services are designed to dramatically reduce mosquito activity so you can enjoy your yard in peace. Take back your yard. Visit Rottler.com today to learn more and schedule your free inspection.
Selling your home? Every situation is unique. Find the best options that are right for you from the real estate team who offer more options. My friends Mark and Neil Gelman of eXp Realty. Check out the only agents I trust. Go to thegelmanteam.com. That's thegelmanteam.com.
11:20 a.m., 104.1 FM, and streaming on the Odyssey app. KMOX is with you, however you listen, wherever you listen.
Welcome back, DGS on KMOX. If you guys had one question you could ask in the afterlife, what would it be?
What the heck?
Kind of me too.
Yeah, what the hell?
Yeah. WTF, what was that?
What the heck was all that back there?
Yeah. That's one reason, as an agnostic, one who does not believe in major religions, that I would be happy to believe, because it would be great to have this crazy ass Mr. Toad's Wild Ride summed up by a deity to my satisfaction. Now, I can imagine a quote unquote lesser deity giving me an example and me going, nah, I don't buy it. But assuming the deity is all that, it would be wonderful to have all of this summed up and me go, makes sense.
You know what I would ask?
What?
If I got up to heaven and I met God,
I would ask him, how come the foods that are good for you all taste really bad, and all the foods that are really bad for you all taste good?
It's as good a question as any.
That is like a trick. That's a trap. That's so messed up.
Yeah, that falls under my what the heck.
Yeah.
That's why I kept it simple, because there's a lot of what the hecks.
Because nutritionists will tell you we crave fat, salt, and sugar.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a dickin'.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like, those are all the things that kill us.
You're telling me?
We should all be like trying to sneak kale at night.
Mm-hmm.
Is that
Oh,
because
I can't wait for Brussels sprouts.
Is that because those, like, way back in the day, those were the things that were the hardest to find?
I don't know. I mean, I doubt we even had, like, we didn't really have sugar.
I'm sure we knew of things that were sweet, though, right? Like fruits.
Okay, that actually seems to make a little bit of sense to me. That, like, we needed to be driven to go and find, fats and salts and things because they're not naturally occurring in the stuff that comes out of the ground. And we do need some element of that stuff for a healthy diet, right? So maybe we had to be driven to go and hunt and all that stuff versus just, like, grabbing whatever
hunt for
grew out of the
cookies.
ground. And
Chris Ronchi, Amy Mark Scores. The Chris and Amy Show.
I would just like to say you guys are awesome. I've just been turned on to this since it's been on 104.1 at the FM dial, and I think you guys make me laugh, and you're informative. I just love you guys' show. You guys are amazing.
The Chris and Amy Show. Weekdays at 9 on 104.1 FM KMOX and the free Odyssey app.
Selling your car online sounds easy. Snap a few pics, list a price, then what? Wait weeks? Haggle with strangers? At Suntrop Ford, we actually make it easy to sell your car. Visit Suntrop Ford Kirkwood or Westport, and our expert appraisers will give you a fast, fair offer on the spot. Or skip the trip and get an instant quote at SuntropFord.com. No guesswork, no games, just the best price. Visit SuntropFord.com today. Get more at Suntrop Ford.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call the Lance Story Law Firm today and let us get between you and the IRS. We'll protect your rights, including your right to appeal or even your right to take the IRS to tax court. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney team who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Story Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis, or visit Lance, DRURY, law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm, 314-260-6120.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Well, it sounds like we have a couple of trouble spots right now on westbound Highway 70. Just heard a call out just seconds ago for EMS to respond westbound 70 at Natural Bridge for a crash. That's the Cypress exit. Westbound 70 is bogged down at the airport, so it'll probably get a little worse. And I'm looking at the other problem spot. This is a crash in the right lane, westbound 70 at the west end of the Blanchette Bridge, just before 5th Street. That's jamming back traffic onto the 270 exit lanes as you come out of the Maryland Heights area. Southbound 170 south of Olive down to Brentwood slow. Westbound 64 Science Center to Clayton Skinker's busy. Lindbergh to Ballas is heavy. Boone's Crossing to the bridge, and then Lake St. Louis Boulevard out to 70 is all slow. Northbound 61 not jammed, but it is heavy from 70. It goes all the way up to Highway W, Highway Double K, east of 61 a couple miles. Sounds like we have an overturned semi-crash there. South 270 Page down through 64 is slow. 44 midway down to Gravois heavy. Southbound 55 Arsenal to Bates. There's heavy traffic both sides of Z and approaching Highway A. And eastbound 70 and 64 both backed up east of the bridges over to the common merge point. I'm Roger Brand in the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Hospital Sisters Health System isn't just in your community. We're your neighbors, your friends, your support system. From your first visit, you'll experience expert care backed by the strength of our entire health network. At HSHS, we put your health first, with medical expertise and kindness that makes you feel valued at every step. HSHS, connected to our community, committed to your health. Visit hshs.org/caring to learn more.
Retiring soon? Get the information you need by joining Kyle Jones and Matt Allgeier of Fira Capital Management for Your Retirement Highway, Sunday mornings at 9:30. Investment advisory services made available through Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Securities made available through AE Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
Because we have lawyers in all 50 states, I see lots of lawyers' ads. Most seem to be bragging on results, but are they true or misleading? For example, in some cases, a firm may try a case even though the at-fault party has no lawyer, then brag in the ad about their results. My son Matt got one for nearly $50 million, but we never collected one dime. Some lawyers may say they got a result even though they were sitting second chair at a firm like mine, and even though they had little to do with it. Happens all the time. All that glitters is not gold. At Morgan & Morgan, our results are real. Visit forthepeople.com and go to settlements and verdicts to see for yourself what your case may be worth before you hire a law firm. Do your homework. Fact check. It's easy and too important not to. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Brought to you by your local Lennox Premier dealer, Scott Lee Heating. Make sure your home's heating and cooling system is being cared for by your local Lennox Premier dealer, Scott Lee Heating. Special savings opportunities and federal tax credits are available, so call 314-756-9444 or visit online at scottleeheating.com.
Welcome back, guys. DGS 1041 FM KMOX. Dave Murray joins us. Hello, Dave.
Howdy.
So, warmest day of the week today?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But still it's not offensive.
Oh, no, not at all. We are watching some really wicked thunderstorms in northwest Missouri right now, west of Columbia.
Mm-hmm.
They will stay far to our west and northwest. They're not a concern for the St. Louis area. There's a front out there. It's kind of hanging around, and the storms are moving off to the northeast. So they're having a hard time moving to the west in that process. Now, that said, we're in an unsettled stretch because this front, very typical this time of year, the front will get a little closer. It will wave around. It will get stuck. There's not a lot of push, and it kind of hangs around until something comes along and pushes it out of the way. So there'll be some scattered showers. Could be a rumble of thunder tonight, Wednesday, and into Thursday. Nothing severe, no all-day rain. Temperatures about 80 tomorrow, 83 on Thursday. Friday, the front should be waving around pretty close to the St. Louis area as it drifts around. And then that'll be the best chance for some strong to severe weather will be Friday. What time of day? Not sure yet. Not sure. But then something does come along and slowly give it a nudge, but not big enough. Still unsettled over the weekend.
Okay. So kind of par for the course. What kind of what we have now?
As far as this spring is concerned, yes.
Okay. Headlines, Rach?
Yeah, Headlines is brought to you by Schnucks. Reward yourself daily with the Schnucks Rewards app. According to a new study, more than half of the top 100 mental health TikToks contain misinformation. As people increasingly turn to social media for mental health support, research has revealed that many influencers are peddling misinformation, including misused therapeutic language and quick fix solutions and false claims.
More than just mental health, too. They're doing that for
everything.
Regular health, too.
And finance.
Because
and
coincidentally, there's a product for sale in their bio.
Just something to keep in mind. Just because you see it on the internet doesn't mean that it's true. Marijuana use among American senior citizens has risen dramatically, actually, among seniors 65 and older in the United States. About 7% of seniors said they were current weed users in 2023. That's up from just 5% in 2021. And that's a nearly 46% increase in just 2 years.
A lot of people using them in nursing homes.
Really?
Yeah. I've heard a lot of people who I work with in nursing homes say that their family brings them gummies. So,
Doesn't that seem like a pretty good idea?
Yeah.
Rather than just taking pain pills and things along those lines?
Yeah. I'm a little uncomfortable, though, because I like gummies, but I keep seeing these studies that say that cannabis is bad for you, bad for your heart, bad for your brain, bad for your aging, bad for cancer. And I just don't understand it since it's a naturally occurring substance, but it gives me pause.
Tobacco is too.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
And it's not a miracle solution.
Right. Nothing is.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing is. And you kind of got to side eye the people who are like, it fixes everything. Because it's like, well, no, it doesn't. It can actually be really bad it can really, really help some people. And it can be a huge detriment to others.
So before I ever started eating gummies, probably 5 years ago, Rach, you'll remember when we had the guy on, the pro cannabis guy.
Yeah.
Wheels, you'd have loved this guy. I mean, he was more pro cannabis than I've ever been pro anything. And the last thing he said was, and it actually helps me be a better driver. I'm more focused when I'm really high. And we're like, okay.
No, it does not.
Better go to break.
The law would disagree with you, brother.
Very sad story here. Some parents in North Carolina have been charged after their unattended son, who is 7 years old, was killed walking home from the store. So he was walking home with his 10-year-old brother and ended up running into traffic. The parents have been charged with involuntary manslaughter and child neglect for allowing the unsupervised walk. But the driver of the car will face no charges as no wrongdoing was found.
Okay. So let me just be completely honest. I'm picturing two kinds of parents. I'm picturing horrible monsters who don't care about their kids and were high on crack when they went to the store. And then I'm picturing good parents who are more throwbacky to my parents and said, you're 10 and 7, you can walk to the store and back together, just be careful. And I'm being very prejudiced or very something in my definition of those two kinds of parents, but I can imagine allowing a 10-year-old and a 7-year-old to go out on the road and come back.
I did. When I was 10, I was always doing that stuff.
Oh, we all did, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, how far does it say in the story, Rach? Like how far of a walk it is? Like,
let me try to find that.
Because a lot of what our limitations was which kinds of streets we were allowed to cross and which ones we were not. Right. Yeah. So certain big roads, you're like, nope, you cannot cross that. But we weren't being handheld. We were out on our own in the neighborhood, and we just knew the rules.
Yeah.
And we either followed them or we didn't, but that didn't make our parents bad parents. Like, no. I'm not sure I understand how it's a crime to say my kid can walk to the store.
On its face, I don't like it.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out, none of the stories I'm looking at are saying the distance to the store.
I mean, like if it's 10 miles, it's probably a lot.
When I was 7, I had a lawn business.
Yeah.
I was using power equipment.
Yeah. I mean,
blessings from my parents. Yeah. Go for it.
I know it's because we all grew up, the three of us grew up in a time that was just the norm. You had, even as a 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old kid, you had freedoms to move around the neighborhood and learn to navigate traffic. We played football and baseball in the street. We literally played in the street and be like, up car, and everybody gets out of the way. Like that was normal thing. I don't think it's abnormal to say two kids that are 7 and 10, old enough to be learning math in school, to be reading, could navigate to a store. Now, again, if they're walking 10 miles to the store, that's probably a bit much. If you're crossing a 6-lane highway or 6-lane road, maybe not a real highway, but a 6-lane road, maybe that's a little too dangerous. But short of that, how is it a crime to just say your kid can handle this?
Yeah, I thought the involuntary manslaughter charge was crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. I mean,
That's an overcharge for
is
sure.
it morally wrong to let your child walk to the store with their older sibling?
But you get my point. Do you change your mind if you get a look at the parents and they're scumbags and they're on drugs and they don't care about the kids?
Is it morally wrong to let your 7-year-old child walk to the store with their older sibling? It remains the same for me.
Oh, not to me.
I mean, I get what you mean about the general upbringing, but the decision, that specific decision, is the same thing. It's
It's the same act, but I think it's different mens rea. It's different.
So
it's
if the
different where
parents
you're
had it
coming
in their
from.
hearts, like, have fun, kids, like, that makes it okay. But if they're just like, yeah, go ahead and go to the store.
Yes.
Also, we're scumbags.
It certainly changes
Yes.
the upbringing the kids are getting.
Yes.
Like that part is, of course.
Yeah.
Let's move on here. Your coffee habit could be linked to healthier aging. This is according to another new study. They only studied women, though. Women who drank 1 to 3 cups of caffeinated coffee per day in their 50s were more likely to reach older age free from major chronic diseases and with good cognitive, physical, and mental health. Which is nice if you're a coffee lover.
It's funny. I don't know if I said this on the air, but Trish said the other day she was going to a doctor and she said, after 50, it's all about just staying alive. And it's so true. It's so true. Like in your 30s, you go to the doctor and it's just like, yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, fine.
See in 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Andrew had this on the sheet too. The snack wrap is coming back. McDonald's is bringing back a fan favorite, and they've finally announced the date. It's coming back on July 10th, so not too much longer to wait.
What is it?
Snack wrap.
Oh,
the McDonald's
good.
snack wrap.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
What is that? I have no idea.
Chicken wrapped in a little tortilla, little
Mhm.
cheese,
Oh,
little
Yeah, it's a
ranch
chicken strip.
dressing or barbecue
It's
sauce.
a chicken strip
or
and a little tortilla, and
honey
there's going to
mustard,
be a spicy
white
one
guy
and a ranch
taco.
one.
Yeah.
White guy taco. It's going to be a ranch one and a spicy one. I don't know what the spicy entails necessarily. And then they throw some lettuce and some shredded cheese in there. You got a snack wrap going.
Yeah, it's a taco.
Let's do one more story here. Burger King has surprised the teen who rushed to work after graduation with a $10,000 scholarship. So he gets that on top of the GoFundMe, which has grown to $187,000. I mean, I'm totally fine with Burger King making the decision to give the $10,000 scholarship. I think that's really nice. But yeah, kind of like I said yesterday, my feelings are a little mixed as far as like, he's won the lottery and now he has $200,000. It's like, hey,
before he went,
there are other kids who do this who don't get monetary rewards for it.
Yeah.
They just get their
Yes.
Burger King paychecks. So.
I don't know that the Burger King part, like, so if the kid didn't go viral, you weren't going to do jack squat but pay
No.
him minimum wage.
No.
And we're going to fight to keep
Completely
those wages as
performative.
low as we can possibly keep them.
Yeah.
But yet now it's viral, so let's marketing opportunity. Here we
Yeah.
go.
Exactly.
Damn
Thank you,
you.
Dave. Appreciate it.
All righty.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Well, we still have troubles on Highway 70. This traffic report is the Service of Financial and Tax Strategies. You got a crash westbound 70. It looks like it's at the east terminal of the airport. Natural Bridge is not the exit westbound, but that's what looks like we're having the backup. It's back to 170. Still working the crash westbound 70 at the west end of the Blanchette Bridge in the right lane. Traffic's jammed back through 270, and they're calling out a crash east of the Blanchette Bridge right now. I don't see it. It's also reportedly westbound. Southbound 170, Delmar to Brentwood's heavy. Westbound 64, Boyle out to Big Bend slow. Lindbergh to Ballast, some slow spots from Topgolf to the Boone Bridge, and 364 out to 70. Westbound Highway 70 in the Westplex. West of Lake St. Louis Boulevard through Z is heavy. Northbound 61 slows at Wentzville Parkway. It jams from Highway P up to about Highway W, so it's another tough run going north through there again today. Southbound 270 is on the brake, south of Page through Olive. Slow down through Doherty Ferry and spots, and again around Gravois. Southbound 55, Gasconade Bates heavy, and then there's some slow stuff south of Z down toward Highway A. Eastbound 64 is still slow across the Poplar Street Bridge, and it's also heavy passing 255. I'm Roger Brand at the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
It's never too early to start thinking about your retirement journey, and it's never too late either. You just need to know that the steps may look a little different. Listen to Wealth and Wisdom with Gary Goldberg, Saturday mornings at 7 here on KMOX.
Do you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is letting everyone know about great debt relief options now available to help people with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of your credit card debt. Get a free debt relief consultation when you call 800-586-4040. 800-586-4040. 800-586-4040.
We all have someone we love, like the favorite lyric in our favorite song. You can't imagine life without them. So tell them today, I love you. Get screened. It could help save their life. Visit cancer.org/getscreened to learn more.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Not available in all states. Rates vary. Building a financial safety net for your family can be tough. But with term life insurance through Ethos, you can have peace of mind that they can pay the mortgage and other bills if something happens to you. With coverage in as little as 10 minutes, all online, Ethos finds your best rate across their multiple trusted carriers. Some policies as low as $1 a day billed monthly. And even in uncertain times, your term life insurance rates and payout don't change. Get your free quote at ethos.com/life. That's ethos.com/life.
Another RX Watch, brought to you by Onder Law.
There's an evil new twist in the tragic story of baby powder and its link to ovarian cancer. Recently uncovered documents reveal that talc can contain asbestos.
The same asbestos that we know causes mesothelioma.
Right, and ovarian cancer.
In the 1970s, the industry wrote its own rules, allowing Johnson & Johnson to claim that its talc was asbestos-free, as long as it contained less than 1% asbestos.
Of course, Johnson & Johnson helped write those rules. So while we're using hazmat suits to remove the asbestos from our homes, Johnson & Johnson was telling women it's safe for their bodies.
Unbelievable. So if you've used talcum powder for feminine hygiene and contracted ovarian cancer, call Onder Law at 1-800-RX-WATCH.
They've already won several large verdicts against Johnson & Johnson for women just like you.
Call Onder Law at 1-800-RX-WATCH. That's 1-800-RX-WATCH or go to rxwatch.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
So if you're thinking about replacing your bath or your tub or your shower or your entire bathroom, look no further. Michael's Baths is the place to go. He does virtually the same thing. Of course, there are differences between him and 3-Day Kitchen and Bath and Bath Fitter and those types of businesses, but it's mostly cost. Pretty much using similar products and doing the same types of things. I think we do a better job. We're local. We are not regional. We're not national. We are completely family owned and operated. Michael is the poobah. He hires everyone. He trains everyone. We have about 10 crews out there now. Used to have about 7, but KMOX has been good and brought in a lot of businesses, been doing a lot of bathrooms. So we're about 30 to 50% less expensive than anybody else, but better. You're going to have our cell phone. Anything that goes sideways over the time we spend together, we're going to call it against ourselves, make sure that you are happy. If you're a disabled veteran, you can get that bathroom remodeling for free, nothing out of your pocket, based on a benefit with the VA that you have earned through your service. 636-775-0800, michaelsbaths.com. Welcome back, DGS. Did you want to follow up on that, Rach?
Yeah, I just kept thinking of the story of the 7-year-old who was killed crossing the road in North Carolina. And Dave, you were saying, like, to you, it kind of depends on the family as far as how you're going to judge the situation. It reminds me of this story that's been in the news. There's a social media influencer whose son drowned in their backyard pool recently. I'm not going to say her name, but the little boy was They didn't have a fence up around the pool. They didn't have the net on the pool. He fell in. He drowned. He's gone. Very tragic. Since she had opened up her life to the public, people were very invested in her kids. You know, you use your kids for social media likes. People are going to be curious when something like this happens. But since they're a nice, wealthy family, many people in the comments are saying like, oh, you can't say anything about this. Like, there should be no speculation here. You should leave them alone. They're a nice family. Now, the influencer themselves is requesting to keep the records of this incident private because it's turned into a media frenzy. She doesn't want anyone to know about it. And I just thought it was interesting that since it's happened in a rich person's in-ground pool, we got to give them privacy and, you know, this is just a tragedy. However, if the 3-year-old would have drowned at a daycare event or something, people, even when someone's watching, you know, 20 kids at a time, it'd be like, they're completely incompetent. We need to hold them to account. It's just interesting the way we view these things through like people's social status, basically.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we need to. Look, I feel terrible for this woman. She has to live the rest of her life without her 3-year-old son. It's awful. It's awful. But to extend more compassion because she's a rich influencer doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Like, again, if this were to happen to a situation that, you know, oh, that's like a trashy family. It's like, you need to hold them to account. But they're nice, so it's okay. No, it's either the child is gone or not. Like, it really boils down to what happened. Was there actual negligence there? That's really all that matters at the end of the day, right?
No.
What else matters then?
I think circumstances matter. I think past behaviors matter. I think the whole area of what was going on matters. I think that, and I don't think it's about wealth, but I think it's about parenting. If you show me a couple of parents who are addicted and they're not good parents, and, you know, we could argue until the show's over about it, but just go with me on that. You would accept that they were bad parents and bad people. I view it differently. I think that good people, good, solid, non-scumbag parents can be negligent, and that negligence can lead to an injury or death. And if so, they should be held accountable in spite of their shininess. And I think that scumbag parents can not be negligent. And you shouldn't assume just because of that, well, I'm sure they did something wrong. So I agree with you that the devil's in the details, the proof's in the pudding of what actually occurred, who was where when this happened. But if I'm being honest, I'm going to look at them differently. I'm going to say, well, sure, if you are addicted and your kids aren't eating regular meals and they don't go to school on a regular basis and you don't even come home half the time, I can believe you probably did something to lead to this. I don't think
but
there's
you're not
anything wrong
talking
with
from
that.
a legal view. You're just talking about, like, that's how I see it.
No, both.
Because I can't believe a prosecutor would be able to account for that. You'd have to be like, what was the decision and what did it lead to?
Well, for example, let's say that someone has had DFS called on them successfully 3 or 4 times and almost lost their kids several times. You wouldn't look at them differently if they had an incident happen?
Well, I mean, you have priors that inform that decision.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even if it's the same decision on the same road from the same 2 parents? Like, say, 2 different sets of parents, because your previous actions do come into play with your punishments, right? Just like repeat offenders.
I think that if you are a very fastidious parent who believes in free-range raising of kids, and you let a 10-year-old walk home from school on their own, it's different than someone who is too drunk to take their kid to the store. I think that's different.
They're definitely 2 different situations.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to figure out how, boy, that's an interesting call.
Yeah. And we had someone write in, we're out of time now, but when we come back for the think tank, I'll bring it up to you. Someone pushing back on what you said about Brown University. So remind me of that.
Yeah.
I think it'll be interesting. Tell you guys about the Gelman team, and I have been really underselling you guys on the real estate market right now. That from what I understand, I'm not a real estate agent. I'm not in it every day, but I see these reports and, you know, this many houses out there available, so forth and so on. And I kind of don't care. I'm kind of going the opposite of the way that we're talking about this case right now, that whether it's a seller's market, a buyer's market, white hot, dead in the water, whatever it is, if you have a house to sell or a house to buy, and it's probably both, that's the way we do things in St. Louis. We sell our house, we buy someone else's house, then you're going to want to talk to the Gelman team. It's not going to cost you more than it would with other people, but you're going to get way, way better customer service. They're a part of this eXp Realty, which is thousands of realtors. They have access to resources that individual real estate agents just don't have. We're going to be in a superior position than the people and the agents who we are negotiating against, and you're going to do better. So if you want to sell your house for the most amount of money in the least amount of time with the least amount of upset on your part, go with the Gelman team. You can find out what we think your house is worth right now online at the front page of thegelmanteam.com when you're ready to talk. 314-336-1991.
Certain restrictions apply.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos. Fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's.